Hey everybody, it's Friday. And we might be going out after.
Probably will.
We probably will.
There's a storm over us that's probably blow over. Once it blows over, we're going to go out.
Yeah, it's been storming kind of bad, but yeah. I mean, we don't have to go out. We don't have to leave for like 3 hours.
It's a fetish event.
That's right, yeah, it's
a fetish event. Do we have to pay to get in?
No.
No, okay. I didn't know
Better
if there was a special I didn't know if there was a cover or anything.
I don't think so.
No, right.
I think they've been trying to like implement that, but I don't think they're gonna do it. And even if we went there, like they wouldn't probably.
I got my sexual leather daddy outfit.
You got your sexual leather daddy.
Yeah.
I forgot that it was. Even though I'm the dumbass that does all the posters for the shit, but I do so many that I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like what the themes are, so I lose track. Oh, you know what? That's just. I don't know why that just reminded me. You remember when we were at the movies?
Uh-oh, look.
Uh-oh. Is she throwing up?
Yeah, she just threw up.
Oh, no.
She threw up a hairball.
Oh, shit.
You okay, Poop?
You okay?
That's the first time I've ever seen her do that.
Yeah, I don't think she's that. Aw.
She's doing it some more.
Oh, no. Like, I heard that noise, and I was like...
Hear the explosion sound?
Yeah. Oh, Pookie.
There's more in there, Pookie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You better clean that up before it gets like you.
I'll pick it up. It's not big.
Gross.
Feeling better? Feeling better?
How could you...
She swallowed it.
Ew.
It came up a little bit out of her mouth, and then she re-swallowed it.
She's like, fuck it. Aw, poor baby.
You're just going to throw it up again, Pook.
Later.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, how she could have so many hairballs, like, how she could have a hairball, because I brush her, like, a million times a day.
It's not very big. Go look at it.
I don't want to look at it. That's gross. I've never seen her cough up a hairball before. I mean, she's short hair. So, you know. Yeah, right, Pook? Goodness gracious.
It's not wet. It's dry looking.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little dry hair.
You know what she might be doing?
Yeah.
Because you know how she jumps up on the sink over there and she was like, Mama, brush me. So maybe I brush her.
Yeah.
Maybe she goes over there and eats her own hair out of the brush when I'm not looking.
I don't know.
That sounds like some shit she would do.
There wasn't any fluid. There was no fluid. It was just a little ball of hair. Weird.
Poor little baby.
That's what they do, you know?
Yeah. That's just the first time I've ever seen her.
Yeah, I've never seen her do it.
Because like, you don't usually get, I mean, short hair cats don't have like a lot of hairball problems. Yeah. And I brush her all the time because she complains if I don't. So, because she just likes being brushed.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean?
She's got some funny ways, man. She's got this new one that she's doing now. When I get up in the morning, I go take a shower. And I come out, dry off. And then I'll get dressed, and then I'll go back in there and start, brushing teeth, I shave in the shower. Brushing teeth and just getting ready, maybe put some deodorant on or something. Well, during that phase, she comes running in, and she'll run up to the toilet. And if the lid's up, she'll fucking yell at me. And I'll put the lid down, and she'll jump up on the damn top of the toilet, and then she'll look at the window, because there's a window right there with shades, and she'll yell at that, tell me to open the shades. I open the shade, and she jumps on the windowsill and looks out, because that's the only window that looks out that way that she has access to on that side of the house. So she wants to look out that way. But that went on for like 2 or 3 days. When I did today, I let her look out, and then had other shit I had to do around the house. And about an hour later, she was standing in front of the bathroom door in the hallway, yelling at me, "Wow!" And I was like, "What?" And then she runs into the damn bathroom looking over her shoulder.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. And then jumps on the windowsill, is going, looking at me and says, "What?" And then she looks out the window. And I went, oh. She wants me to look out the window with her.
Yeah.
Because when I open up the window for her to get out there, I'll pet her a little bit and look out the window with her and talk with her a little bit. She has a little AMSR moment where we're looking out the window together, see? And if I fucking don't look out the window with her, she feels like she's been cheated.
Yeah, you have to come back.
You've got to look out the window. Yeah, and I'll be looking out. And I was looking out the window, and she's looking at me, and I look back at her, and then she looks back out the window, and then I look out the window, and she looks at me.
We're looking out the window.
We're looking out the window. It's fucking funny, man. It's like a little kid.
She is like, she's hilarious.
Funny.
The other night, though, I have to say, she gets zoomies sometimes, like in the middle of the night, where she just like, you wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and you hear, like she's running up and down the hall.
Yeah.
So she did that a couple nights ago at 5 in the morning, and then she ran. Well, she like ran to in front of the bedroom door, and then we heard her go, "Rawr!" Like she growled really, really loud.
It sounded like a damn tiger.
And I never heard her make that noise before. I'm like, what the fuck? And like Tom was like, we both woke up obviously, and Tom was like, "What's the matter, Pookie?" And she like just came in there with her little tail wagging, and I'm like, okay.
Dave's in the chat.
Hey, what's up?
He says shalom, y'all. Yeah. You going to the club tonight? We're gonna be up at Mannequins tonight.
Yeah, we'll be there later.
Yeah.
We'll be there later. But yeah, I just thought, I mean, I talked to her about it the next morning. I was like, well, did you see, like, you pretending, like, chasing monsters in the hall or something like
funny.
that? I never heard her make a noise like that.
Sound like a damn tiger.
I know. I was like, oh my God, she's so little.
Yeah,
well, that's what's funny. Like, I was on Facebook today talking to somebody, and you know how Facebook will be like, hey, we thought you might want to look back at this post from however many years ago. So they had a video that I posted exactly 5 years ago, when like the day after we got Pookie, and she was so little. She was like a tiny little kitten, and I had like a little video of her like running around and like chasing a string and like hiding under the bed and peeking out, shit like that. I'm like, oh my God, she was so fucking small. She's still small, but she was like way smaller then. Tammy says, my female cat cries before she barfs. Aw.
Yeah. It was weird to look down there and I can't even see where she threw that hairball up. It was dry. It was
I bet she's eating the hair.
It's just a round clump of ball
that is coming out that I brush out of her.
Yeah.
Like she's finding it somewhere and being like, ooh, delicious hair.
I got a shampoo carpets anyway.
That's true.
I got my own carpet shampoo, or I got one of the good ones. I got one of the Electrolux.
He's so proud of that.
Yeah.
He's so proud of that Electrolux.
I used to sell that one. I sold a whole bunch of those. Fucking, they don't make them anymore. Well, you can make them, but they just want a lot for them, and they haven't improved over the years. The original was fucking better. They just started adding kind of useless shit on there, just to try to make you think that they changed it, but they didn't. Anyway,
well, that's kind of how shit works.
And you just whip it out real fast. Got its own tank, and it's real quick.
You can
so
whip it out real fast, huh?
Whip that shit out. Whip it out on all kinds of fucking people. Okay, so Tammy says she painted her room.
Yeah, painted the bedroom today. Have the carpet torn up. What color did you paint it?
Yeah.
Man, painting is a pain in the ass. It took me forever to do this fucking
cooking
room.
dinner. Oklahoma onion smash burgers.
That sounds good.
I pulled more more tomatoes out of the garden, pureed them, and put them in that Instant Pot and hit saute and cooked them down into just a tomato sauce and poured that into the spaghetti sauce I made out of the garden just from yesterday. Every day I got more and more of those fucking beautiful tomatoes coming out of there. Better than any store-bought tomato. And it pisses me off because right when picking day comes on tomato, 2 or 3 of them have a hole in it. Yeah. And it's because the damn birds see it and they go, that's ripe. And they jump in there and they'll
they want it too.
Pour a hole in there and get a drink.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can't...
Fucking pisses me off.
Can't blame them, really.
So I got to cut a damn cut a slice out of it like the size of one of them damn orange fucking chew candy. You know what I mean? You got to take a slice out of it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of flush it out with water. The little, because inside a tomato, it's like pockets of juice and seeds, and it ruins one of the pockets. But it doesn't ruin the whole tomato. But you want to get on it as soon as they put a hole in it. You got to pull it because now it's open to nature, and you're going to get bugs go in that hole. So every day you got to go there and check them. And it's always on picking day. Those bitches fucking know. They're like, oh, they'll go for the reddest ones.
Well, yeah, they're not dumb.
They're not dumb. And I'm thinking it's the same bird.
Is it the same bird that sits up there and like chirps like 24/7?
It's a bird that lives around here.
Holy shit, dude.
I should sit out there with a pellet rifle and wait for him to pop him.
Don't pop him. Come on.
He keeps taking drinks out of my fucking tomatoes, man.
Well, they can eat too. Don't kill the bird.
He's eating for free. I'm gonna get some.
Well, what? You want him to get a job?
I'm gonna get some of that fucking. I'm gonna get some of that food back. Put his ass in the fucking pot.
We do. I don't know if it's the same bird, but we do have a bird that lives in one of the trees, like by the gym window. That seriously, I don't know when that bird sleeps. He just chirps, or she just chirps like all the time, like really, really loudly. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and it's like. Brr, 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 brr,
I'm absolutely convinced that bird is watching that garden.
Well, yeah, of course.
Knowing when.
What else do they have to do?
Make the move.
They don't have the internet.
Nope. Nope.
They're just sitting there going, wait for it, wait for it.
And I found out what happened to the basil. Beijing ate the basil. Beijing was getting in the garden, ate all the basil.
No way.
Yep.
Why would she do that?
I saw her in there fucking like
What
that.
a
He goes, that's what's
weirdo.
happening to the basil.
Ooh, busted.
Yep. Says, why isn't that basil growing? What's eating this basil? They'll just see stems. Fucking Beijers.
She was eating it. She's so weird. Why would a cat eat?
Got in the garden, ate basil. I don't know.
That's really funny.
Tastes good. She likes it.
I guess. That's really weird. She's not like a big people food. Well,
Settle her stomach down.
Pookie isn't either, but
Maybe it's settling her stomach.
I guess. Now, I have seen cats just eat, like, grass,
Yeah.
like if they had, like, a tummy ache or something. I
Yeah.
have them doing that, but...
I'm thinking about just growing basil and let Beijing eat it.
I guess.
It's like, oh, well.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I
Yeah,
mean...
she likes it. Somebody's eating it.
Well, she can't eat it all.
She eats the new sprouts.
Oh.
She'll go in there and go,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it wasn't growing. And I saw her out there eating it.
The culprit. She makes
Yeah.
like a little wanted poster with Beijing's
Yeah.
little floofy face on
Yeah,
it.
and then she laid down afterwards.
Yeah, that was some good shit.
Yeah, some good shit.
Oh my god. That's hysterical. I
Makes
could
sense
say-
now, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave says, yeah, I'm going tonight. I think they are doing a $5 cover charge to keep the
Alright.
freebie normies away, yeah, because it's a fetish
Okay.
party.
All right.
So, all right, that's fine. Let's see. So Tammy said she painted the room light green. That sounds nice. Gonna have area rug that has cream gray and light green in it. Really nice wood floors. Ooh, I wish I had wood floors up here.
That means we got to get $10.
Yeah, where are we gonna get $10
Don't
in
you
this
have any
day
cash?
and age?
I don't have any cash.
No, remember I
Hey, we deposited.
I
all the
deposited. I had some cash, but I deposited it.
cash.
Well, they could probably take a card. I would imagine it's the 21st fucking century. Don't they have Square or some shit like that where it's like, or you
Yeah,
know,
I could probably just take your card and
just
everything.
like scan the fucking
Yeah.
shit? Nobody has cash anymore.
Okay.
Come on, the fuck you think this is? Or I think there's an ATM in there anyway. Isn't there an ATM in there?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
There's an ATM in there.
Could always stop by Circle K and get something to drink with some cash back.
That's true. We could do
Then it
that
would
too.
be sitting there fucking with a big old fucking Arizona iced tea, drinking that up, pissing it all out, pissing it all out, fucking on the way. Can't stand fucking drinking and driving like that, and your fucking belly's out like this.
Well, see, that's the thing. Whenever we're in, because it takes like half an hour for us to get to Mannequins,
Yeah.
right? And it's
As soon as I
like,
get in the car.
when I get in the car, I'm always like
Yeah.
really thirsty. So then
Yeah.
it's like we have a Circle K just like right up the street. So we sometimes will stop at Circle K and get something to drink. But then we're like in the car, like
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm just like, by the time I get there, I'm just like fucking busting, you know. Danny Rowling saw the new film Black Phone. Yeah, I've been wanting to see that. I've been seeing like some people come up, reviewing it, and it's seemed pretty good. Pretty good. Spoiler alert: the kid gets away, and Ethan Hawke gets killed by him. I think they kind of gave that away in the trailer. Tammy says, "Do it before your fruit ripens, and the birds will get pissed at pecking the rocks and think the strawberries are rocks." Oh, saw a trick that if you want to keep birds from eating your strawberries, you need to paint rocks red and put them around the plants.
Oh, yeah. They get confused.
Ooh, devious. And they're just kind of like, hey, these aren't tomatoes. You guys suck. You would think, well, what is birds' sense of smell like? I don't actually know.
I don't know if it'll work.
Mm,
They're saying it will, but
Hugo says it's 99 degrees Fahrenheit outside here in LA. Yeah, I think it was definitely up in the 90s today. I had little, because I get little weather alerts, on my PC. And so it came up UV warning. I get that pretty much every day. And humidity warning and heat wave, I think, came up today. But now it says it's only 75. I'm not sure I believe that because it's been raining. That's why, like, for several, I don't think it's 75 degrees. I don't think it's.
I got 3 kinds of tomatoes out there. I got the little bitty tomatoes, like little cherry tomatoes. The other ones I have are kind of like this beefsteak type tomato. When they're that big.
Hey, what's she doing? What are you doing?
And when you cut them open, there's red, and a dark red as a strawberry. There's no store-bought tomato that tastes that way. And the other one I have is a black tomato. It's blackish green. They're pretty good. About that big, about the size of it. They don't grow very fast though. I was just seeing which ones grow the best, what yields the best. Those big ones is the way to go. And my what do you call it? Some of the shit I had to abandon, it never really grew. So I used the space up to put more eggplant. Eggplant just yields. It just
like, dude, we have so
more
much
eggplant I can eat.
We still have like a massive. We've been eating baba ganoush like for the last couple days, and it's like we still have a fuck ton. We went to the grocery store today, and he's like, "I'm gonna buy like a whole bunch more pita bread because we have like so much baba ganoush."
Right,
still.
and well, I got baba ganoush still, and then I got like 5 big old eggplants, and all that sauce that I made out of the stuff out of the garden. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to make eggplant lasagna with, because I got ricotta cheese and everything. And another thing that's growing real well is fucking all those damn jalapeno peppers. My jalapenos are coming out really good. Super good. And then I got these fucking ghost peppers. Fucking hot. One of them super hot. And I made a bunch of salsa. I made Claudia's fucking salsa casera, and real good. It's just roasted tomatoes out of the garden, jalapenos, onions, a little bit of ghost pepper, and cilantro, and I just chilled it and blended it. It had garlic too, roasted garlic after it was all roasted, and then chilled it and blended it after it was roasted. It came out fucking great. Put it in jars. Yeah.
Yeah, what's
jarred?
Yeah. Tammy says, my cherry tomatoes don't even leave the garden. I eat them as I pick under the other things. We have so many zucchinis, I'm overwhelmed. Made 6 loaves of zucchini bread and froze them.
Yeah.
Jeez. I think you made that pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm gonna change pumpkins.
And like, don't we still have like a loaf of that frozen or no? Did we eat it?
No, it's done. Frozen stuff's done. I made 2 big old pumpkin bread cakes with cream cheese frosting. It's real good. It's kind of like carrot cake.
Yeah, but not quite as sweet.
Right. But I forgot what the name of those kind of pumpkins I had.
Were they sugar pumpkins?
Sugar pumpkins. Yeah, sugar pumpkins. They don't get very big. There's a lot of meat in them, but they don't yield as much as just a big old fucking country pumpkin. I'm gonna put big pumpkins in there. Let those suckers get big. Because you're gonna cook it anyway.
Yeah.
Something you make a jack-o'-lantern out of. It yields a lot of food. Sugar pumpkins, they grow fast. They grow pretty fast, but they're too small. They taste good, but I couldn't really tell the difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, we said before, like, I don't know how cheap the pumpkins are going to be this year, but usually, like, around Halloween. Actually, not even Halloween. It's usually, like, as soon as fall comes along, they got, like, pumpkins out the wazoo.
I'm going to check these other farms I got up this road. There's, like, 4 of them, and it's up in front, little signs that I didn't notice before. It says fucking farm to table. And it has everything that they have in there. And one of the things that one of those places had was pumpkins. And then the U-Pick place that was saying what was coming into season. We got to keep an eye on that shit and go down there when the getting's good. Get some of that shit. They also have those fucking cows over there. I know some shit's up with those cows.
What's up with you cows?
Yeah, what's up with these cows? Makes you wonder what it costs to like buy in on a cow. To feed the cow, and then when the cow's ready, you get some of it. We'll see.
I don't know.
I heard some people will go in on a cow. And then slaughter date comes, you divide it. I got that freezer down there now. See? So I can store it. It's a lot of meat, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat.
A whole cow is.
I might have to go down and get with that fucking lay-down freezer. They're not that much. A couple hundred. 200 maybe. Get a decent one. I could probably get a used one for less. They're around here. Put a whole half a cow in there. Eat off of it for a year.
Tammy says, has Tom ever heard of is it Cushaw? Cushaw? It's a pumpkin tasting squash.
No.
I don't think I've heard of that either. I'm sure I pronounced it wrong. Lion X Warrior says, Tom is making me hungry. Goddamn. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I have not eaten hardly anything today. I had you made me crab salad.
Yeah. Did good crab salad today.
Yeah, with fresh dill in it and everything like
fresh
that.
dill.
So I had a little bitty sandwich of that and a little packet of nuts and dried cranberries. That was all I've eaten today.
Yeah.
And a cup of coffee. That's it. And this strawberry daiquiri thing.
Yeah, Jenny's got one of her new little dresses on. I got Jenny dressing like a girl now.
I always dress
Just
like a
little
girl. Eat a dick.
She looks good though. She looks good. She's got the little short dresses on and shit. Looks cute. She puts those fucking goth boots on. Yeah, that was popular. That last one that you wore last time out. Yeah. But let me see what else is going on.
Yeah, not. Sorry, I spaced out for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is what I was gonna say. Remember last time we were at the movies, and what is that thing called? Fathom Events.
Yeah.
They said, they were gonna show the thing on the big screen. I think they already.
With the Crustle.
I think they already did it.
Well, it don't matter. I don't care.
But you know what? I saw like a headline or article and stuff like that. They said they made a fuck ton of money on that. Like tons of people came to see it.
Yeah, of course.
Which, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? That's like
I had never seen it.
I kind of like wish that because I remember we went to see. What the fuck did we go to see?
We've seen a bunch of them.
What was the last movie we went to see? Now I can't remember.
The one about the fucking the body modification one.
Oh yeah, the Cronenberg movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cronenberg movie.
Man, I just like totally lost it. But yeah, I think that there was an ad for it then.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I thought it was like a month away.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I guess not, because like I saw somebody like posted today. It's like, they were talking about how much money they made on it, and I was like, oh shit, that must have already passed. That sucks.
Maybe they're played in another area.
Maybe. Well, it's probably happening a lot because I think it's the 40th anniversary.
I thought that was for July.
I thought it was too. I'll have to look it
I
up.
thought it was like July 17th or something.
Danny Rowling says, if you like the film Stir of Echoes, oh yeah, I really like Stir of Echoes, then you'll like the film Black Phone. It looked good, and like I said, I've been really wanting to see it, so I guess it started. I want to see that Elvis movie too.
Yeah. Is that planned?
It either starts this week or next week, I can't remember. We still haven't seen Top Gun, we still haven't seen it. Yeah, the Cronenberg movie was the last time we went to the theater, and we're still paying for that monthly fucking shit. You know what I mean? So
that's how they make their money.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna put some ice in mine because my shit all just melted.
Well, how'd that happen?
I don't know.
Mine's still cold. John Smith says, I love that at the British Antarctic Survey, before starting the long winter shift, watch The Thing followed by The Shining is a tradition. That's pretty awesome. Zach says, hey guys, what I miss? Mostly food stuff. Just talking about food, like we usually do. So we haven't been on that long, so I don't think you really missed all that much. We're still kind of like warming up. But it's like we talked about food and like cute shit that Pookie does. And you missed like Pookie coughing up a hairball, so there was that. It wasn't on camera or anything, but you could hear it though. She was like, first time I've ever seen her do that. Yeah, he says, Danny Rowling says it's a cross between Stir of Echoes and the first Saw movie. Oh, all right. Intriguing. That's not exactly the way that I thought it was going to go, but I actually kind of like that. I like that angle. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Stir of Echoes, I'm sure probably most of y'all have, but I always kind of like recommend that to everybody because it's based on a Richard Matheson book, and it came out the same time as The Sixth Sense, so it kind of got creamed, but honestly, I think it's a little bit better than The Sixth Sense. But I mean, The Sixth Sense is good too. But I'm always kind of like bummed out that it got kind of buried under the juggernaut that was the Sixth Sense, you know. Oh,
it's time for some Pookie action. What are we gonna do, Poop?
Hi, sweet baby.
We're gonna be on TV.
She's like, yeah, I'm on TV. Okay. She's like, how long I gotta stay here and get smooched on?
She's purring.
Aw, she's such a good baby.
Yeah.
Dave says, gotta go. See you tonight. Okay, we'll see you later on. Like I said, I already got ready before, so I didn't have to rush.
Yeah, we just shut it down. Get in the car and get out of here.
All I gotta do is put shoes on.
Yeah.
And I'll be ready to go. Based on... Oh, wait a minute. Based on a Joe Hill short story? What is? The Black Phone? Is it? I didn't know that. I liked a lot of Joe Hill stuff. Has anybody, like, watched that series, Nosferatu, that was based on his book? Because I feel like I started watching it and then, like, I forgot about it. Like, I didn't really... But I liked his other... I liked his novel Horns, was really good. And actually, the movie adaptation of that was pretty good, too, with Daniel Radcliffe. I was into that.
Okay, I got two of the screens for the shirts ready. I got Omega Man done, and I got Canon Studios. Canon Studios looks really good. I took one of my old stretch kind of shirts, tank tops that I had.
Stop chewing that, please.
Shot Omega Man on it, went to go cook it, and it fucking bubbled. And it's because I forgot. That dye only works on cotton.
Yeah.
No, it works on cotton. So it didn't hang. And then I just went like that, and it just fucking rolled off like glue. But it's not a shirt that I wear much anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, it has to be cotton or like a cotton blend.
Cotton blend, right.
That's really the ideal situation.
I need to get some smalls of the tanks. You know the tanks that you got me? I got a bunch of mediums. They're too big. They got to be small. That on that particular brand.
Yeah.
How much were those things, you know?
I have no idea. Well, like I said, there's... If you go... I'll show you one day. If you go to the Jiffy Shirt site, there's like 40 bajillion... Like every single thing, there's like 40 options.
Oh, for all of them?
For every single thing. And it's like, so they don't always have the same stuff. Like someone, it's like, this is 100% cotton. This is the one I like. This is soft feel cotton. Yeah. This is this. This is this.
We gotta find this one. Remember this one? Feel it. So it's one.
Well, it's not gonna help. Yeah, it's not gonna help unless I look on the tag or whatever, because
it's not solid. It's like it's got lines in it.
Hey,
the way it's.
Knock it out.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's got like lines running down in it.
Like it's ribbed.
Like it's ribbed
for her pleasure.
Yeah. there's it's something about the weave of that shirt, and then the way they're cut. Usually, it's just better. The way they feel more expensive. And when you shoot something on it, it looks better. It has like texture. I like how it looks.
God, Pookie, what is your deal?
There's like depth to the image, you know?
Yeah. I don't like the ribbed ones as much, like to make the shirts, because it seems like I'm always kind of like worried that the ink is gonna like smear.
You just gotta go through it kind of light, and it just there's something about the image looks like it's 3D or something.
Yeah.
There's texture to it. I like how it looks.
I like the soft feel cotton, and I like the women's cut ones.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, just the... I like how the women's cut, you have to get, like, a women's cut, but then, like, the men's cut is just, like, the generic shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but they don't fit right. You know what I mean? On me.
The men's ones don't fit right? The women's don't fit right on you?
No, the men's ones don't fit right on me. I'm just saying, like, they always say the men's ones are, like, unisex. I'm like, not really. Not really. No. I'm like, why don't you just call them men's shirts, because that's what they are. Yeah. It's like, I got boobs and stuff. It doesn't fit the same. Doesn't fit the same. But, you know. Zach says, I've been getting back into my obscure late 60s, 70s European cinema. It's my favorite era in movies, I think. I love how experimental movies from then are without sacrificing story. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say I probably still think the 70s is my favorite era for movies of any kind. Like horror movies, anything. I mean, obviously I like movies from every era, but I still think the 70s is my favorite. There's just something about that.
Yeah, my daiquiri just turned into a drink. It's good though with on the rocks. It's not bad. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a Red Death.
Yeah, that's exactly what it tastes like. I mean, we drink them slow, you know what I mean? Yeah. When Tom brought it up here, he originally brought the drink up in this big, massive mason jar. Yeah. That was like all covered because he had to get the blender in there. I'm like, dude, I have little bitty. I was like, and I'm gonna have to go over there like that and pick it up because my hands are too little to like pick it up. Yeah. With one, and I said I'm gonna drop that. So we probably should put it in like another fucking glass.
Just a one at a time thing, you know.
That my little hand can fit around.
Men don't normally drink daiquiris. You know, make you gay.
They make you gay.
They make the average motherfucker gay.
but not you, of course.
Of course not, man. It's just fucking soften my masculinity just slightly. But
that's okay.
Make it good. Ask Zach. That's how Zach flipped.
I was reading an article the other day, and apparently there's a thing. I don't know how big of a thing this is, but some dudes apparently think it's too girly to go to like brunch and have mimosas, so they have to call them a man-mosa. I can't remember how you make it. I think it's basically just a mimosa, but it's got like extra vodka in it. And I'm just like, really? Yeah. Really? I mean, is your masculinity that fragile that it's like you can't even let anybody see you drinking a mimosa?
Here's the thing. I've never heard of that. Okay, I've never heard of that. I think so.
I hadn't heard of it either, but
somebody made that up.
No, I was reading an article about it yesterday, and apparently, like, a lot of people had heard of that. It's a thing.
Somebody made that up.
But somebody made it up, but then like it became a thing, and I just like thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But I was just like, shit, man, come on. Get some fucking umbrellas in there. Put some little stick with like pineapple chunks on it. Come on. It's okay. Just drink what you like. No one cares.
Brunches. That's California or something. That's
Brunches for everybody. Brunch is amazing. I don't know why people why you want to shit on brunch, man.
I don't shit on brunch.
Yeah. Well, not you. I'm just saying people in general. Like, why? It's not girly. Yeah. It's that brunch is for everybody.
Brunch is for you woke up late. You're hungover. That's
exactly. Brunch. That's exactly what it's for. It's like I'm gonna go get some waffles and also maybe some oysters.
Actually, what I like is that damn. Shit, what they call that? It's an omelet, but it's got shrimp with the fucking cream sauce in it. What's the name of that omelet?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, what the fuck is that called?
That's what you want for brunch.
Yeah.
It's got a creamy cheese sauce, and the inside's white, and it's got little Gulf shrimp, and it's inside an omelet. I forgot what that shit is called. Fuck.
Yeah, see, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, really.
I'm gonna have that with some grits on the side.
No, you don't need grits, just that. And then
well, I can have grits if I want to.
Yeah, you can fucking drink champagne and orange juice with that, no problem. If you guys remember what the name of that fucking omelet was, go ahead and drop that.
I feel like I know that, but I don't. But I can't think of what it's called.
Those things are fucking good, man.
Do you remember was it Memories of India? They used to have a Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
Where you go, because they had free, bottomless mimosas.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a lot of, like, breakfasty type food, but they had, like, a buffet, so you could just, like, go in there and they had all of the food, like, laid out. Yeah. We went there a couple of times. I did get a mimosa once, but...
Maniac's going to Brooklyn. His gothsicles are playing. Okay.
The gothsicles.
Yeah. Sass B is there. What's up, Sass? How you been?
Says a man-mosa sounds gay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, ironically, man-mosa sounds way gayer than the original.
That's what I'm saying. That is not a real thing. Some woman made that up about straight men, or some gay men that's hating on straight men made that up. No, man-mosa's gay. That's gay. It's a trick. It's psychological warfare. It's psychological warfare. It's gay men made that story up to try to get straight men to order man-mosas so they know who to target. We're gonna get that one. He's a virgin. Fucking, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
He's a booty virgin.
Yeah. See, you gotta be careful.
Gotta stay vigilant.
Gotta stay vigilant.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yep, you gotta resist it. You're drinking fucking strawberry daiquiris. They'll pile up on you. You might flip.
I mean, you never know. We could just be sitting here right now, and there could be like a whole, wave, a whole tidal wave of gay men will come in here and try to get all up in your booty hole. You never know. That could happen.
It could. Could.
It's not going to.
It could. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, you know what's weird? It's like I haven't thought about daiquiris in a really long time, but like I said, we were at the grocery store today. Seriously, I went to, because Tom's like, well, I need to go to the grocery store and get like some mixers for tonight, and I was like, okay, well, I just need to go.
No, Poop, no.
Stop
she pulled one of your books out.
That's okay.
And it's a book that's falling apart already.
Well, that's why I put like all the shitty ones on the bottom, because I know she does.
She's tearing it up. Look, fucking pieces flying.
I know. Like I said, that's why I put all the shitty ones on the bottom.
You didn't have anything to do, so you had to have something to do, right? Okay.
She's like, yeah, I'm just. Okay. She's eating.
Work on that for a while.
She's eating it.
She's sneezing.
Bless you, sweetie. Well, quit eating the paper, and that won't happen. But like, so I literally needed like 2 things. I was like, I need like a couple bags of coffee and like one other thing. And so we go there, and Tom's like, yeah, I need mixers. And he ended up buying, how much soda did you buy?
I bought 12 liters. No, 24 liters. It was 2 liters.
He just keeps putting 2 liters in the bucket. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Because
Well,
I don't really drink soda. So he's going to drink all of that shit.
it was 4 2 liters for $3.
Yeah,
I said, okay.
the Publix brand.
Yeah, Publix brand, and they're good. They're real good. And they didn't have every one of them that I wanted, but half of them were diet, which I don't know why they fucking call them diet. Men don't buy diet. We buy 0 calorie.
Yeah, even though it's the same thing, pretty
or
much.
we buy. They need to fucking reword that shit. You know what I'm
It's
talking
like,
about?
let's make the
I'm like,
package
diet. I'm like,
black and red with like slanty letters, and then we'll call it Coke Zero.
Cokes. Yeah, I'll get that.
We can't
one.
call it Diet Coke.
No,
That's
I've heard that,
faggy.
no.
Yeah.
No, men don't do diets. Okay, we call it a regime. Okay. Yeah.
He's a man.
He's a man. All right.
You guys are so funny.
Yeah. We do a regiment.
You're just a never-ending
Okay.
source of amusement.
They need me as a marketer to understand how to name shit. I get men buying that shit fucking right and left. But you don't call a mimosa a man-mosa. Okay? That's straight out of a fucking BDSM leather bar.
I don't. You know what? I
Yeah.
don't think that the ingredients like orange
Yeah.
juice and champagne. I don't think that's necessarily the issue. I think the issue is the glass they serve.
The glass
because it's like a flute type
and it's
glass.
too weak. So they're gonna put
Well,
more.
that too.
and put
But
more
the reason
vodka
they
in.
make them weak is because most brunches have bottomless mimosas,
so
and they
you
don't
can't
want
do-
everybody like flopping around, falling into the waffle irons and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they have to like,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're gonna get like a whole like gaggle of Karens in there.
The Gramthars says, isn't a shrimp omelet with hollandaise sauce just called a shrimp omelet with hollandaise sauce? I don't think it's hollandaise sauce. It was, fuck.
It might be. I don't know. We might have to like Google that shit because I.
Cream of shrimp omelet? No, what was it called? Man, y'all are making me want to look it up. It's a shrimp omelet.
But yeah,
But
so
I can't remember fucking, it came with, I'm gonna find the fucking name of it.
But what I was saying, so we were at the grocery store, like I said, to literally get. I was just going to get coffee. That's it. And he was going to get, like orange juice and like shit to mix with in sodas and stuff. And then we were going by the mixers, and he's like, "Well, you want some more Zing Zang, like to make some more Bloody Marys?" And I was like, "Nah, I think I'll put that on a rest because I really love Bloody Marys, but they give me really bad heartburn. So I only have them every now and then." And we were like looking at all the drink mixers, and he's like, "Ooh, strawberry daiquiri," and I was like, "Oh my god, that does kind of sound good. Let's get that." So that's how we ended up having strawberry. It's very refreshing. It's very like summer drink. Kaylin Higgins says, "What's the best store brand product you've ever eaten?" Ooh,
Would be, I know, Publix ice cream.
that's what I was gonna say that exact
Yeah.
same thing. I was
Publix
gonna
ice
say that
cream.
exact same thing.
Yeah.
But all the flavors are good. I think the best one of theirs, because sometimes I get others like Bluebell or whatever. I don't buy a lot of ice cream, to be honest with you, but every now and then we get some. One of the best ones, I like their coffee ice cream, like the coffee with the chunks in it, and their peppermint is good. And I think we got one too, like around Christmas, that had like peppermint stick in it, I want to say.
Okay, what it was, it's a shrimp omelet with bechamel sauce in it. It's just like a white
Yeah.
sauce.
Okay.
And-
Does it have a name or
No.
Okay. So we were just trying to think of a word that
Yeah,
doesn't exist.
It didn't have it.
We'd have been really frustrated.
The one, stop it, Poke. The one she's trying to, boy, she wants attention.
she's
What
like,
I
"You guys are
mostly
not talking
remember
to
it from was when I was a kid, out in California. There was a restaurant that served them. The name of the restaurant was fucking Jose something or other. It was a funny restaurant. It was a small California chain. And it was owned by a guy who was half Irish American and half Mexican, half Southern, from Southern California. And it was Jose something or other, something with an Irish name on the back.
I was gonna say, was it like?
Yeah,
Was it like Jose McDooley or
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that?
I don't remember what. Somebody from California might know exactly what it was I'm talking about. And they had that omelet there, and they would serve it for fucking brunch, and it would just fly out of that damn restaurant. Oh yeah, and it was good, and it was a very early fusion restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, it was Mexican food and American food mixed together, and with kind of an Irish kind of theme, Mexican Irish theme.
I feel like you didn't really see that in a widespread way until like fairly recently.
Yeah, and they were doing this back in the 70s. Late 70s,
so they're like
early 80s.
Well, yeah, I kind
ahead.
of feel like probably in California.
Yeah,
they're
in
kind of
California.
way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Gramthars says Trader Joe's orange chicken. You are actually not the first person that has said that was fucking delicious. We have a Trader Joe's around here, I think, but I don't think we've ever been there. But apparently, like, a lot of their brands are really good too. I think they have a bunch of like ready Indian meals. And a lot of people have talked about like how good those are. Like they buy them for their work lunches and stuff like that, and they talk about how yummy they are. But I've never had them. But yeah, I've heard several people say their orange chicken is really good. John Smith says for Irish Mexican crossover, there was a mural artist named Juan O'Gorman. Yeah. It's funny. I guess I wouldn't really think about it like unless somebody pointed it out. You know what I mean? Unless it was something, like, really obvious. I don't know, I guess. But they're talking about... Gramthar says, who has a bigger root? Tommy Lee, Steve McQueen, or Tom Jones? Ew. Do we know?
Well, there isn't any proof, but other than Tommy Lee, because that proof has been fucking... cemented forever on video. Him and fucking Pam on the damn yacht. So, at least you could prove it. All right. Evidently, Tom Jones was no joke. Put Cassandra Peterson, a.k.a. Elvira, sent her to the hospital. She said,
which I'm sure that wasn't a fun time.
He fucking went in through the back door and fucked her up. She had to go get some stitches. Evidently.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Was she okay with that, or did he just kind of like...
it was kind of like an accident type of deal. I think,
like he was aiming for the... or something. He was aiming for the other one, and he's just like, whoops.
She told that story on Howard Stern show.
Oh, no.
She said he was like a 40-ounce beer can.
Man.
Yeah.
I would not want a 40-ounce beer can.
And then, but evidently fucking... legend has it the biggest motherfucker in the world was Milton Berle.
I've heard Milton Berle and Roddy McDowell
like
also like had super big units.
Evidently Milton Berle was fucking dangerous, and he was a leather daddy. I think. I don't think he was straight, but evidently he'd come at you with that thing, and motherfuckers would have to run. Okay.
It'd be like a Godzilla movie. Everybody's like running down the street screaming.
Yeah, I don't think Milton Berle was straight. Ironside rolling up on you in that fucking wheelchair.
Please tell me that somebody has done like a sort of Godzilla porn parody that has like some giant with a big huge schlong like walking down the streets of Tokyo and everyone running away in terror.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look it up. I just want to know.
In Uncle Milty's defense, I've heard that he was fucking hilarious. He was hilarious, and he did a lot of drugs, evidently. I mean, not a lot of drugs, but he would get drugged up at parties and fucking was just crazy, and was keep people rolling. He was funny as fuck. Which is, you remember him from Ironside, he seemed real fucking serious, but that's not how he was. Evidently, he was fucking funny.
Wait, was that that wasn't Milton Berle, was it?
No.
Yeah, I was like, wait, am I having a stroke? That's
okay.
Not, that wasn't
it was the dude from Ironside.
Oh.
What was his name?
Oh shit! Now I blanked, but I was like, yeah.
I thought it was Milton.
No.
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 The dude from Ironside was evidently fucking a gay dude with fucking. He was just fucking huge dick and would fucking show it to people and try to fuck people and shit and get high. I may have him confused.
Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr.
That's right.
I think it was Raymond Burr.
Thank you, DJ Maniac.
Raymond Burr, evidently.
I totally blanked on it too.
Yeah, Raymond Burr.
And I'm not even
Raymond
drunk
Burr.
in my defense. I'm just getting old.
That's where I got
work right
confused
anymore.
But I think Milton Berle also
That's what I heard. That's why I didn't like question you until you started doing the wheelchair thing. And I'm like, what the fuck are you actually talking about?
I think I've merged those two together.
I wonder why.
I think the names are kind of similar. And,
Not really.
Burr and Burl. Or, I don't know. For some reason, I just got them confused. And evidently, both of those dudes were fucking huge. But I think Raymond Burr, right?
Yeah.
Is that the name? Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's the one that was the gay dude who was fucking just funny as fuck and would.
Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Well, because I think we were talking about this. We might have talked about this a little bit, like when we were talking about whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah.
Or that I put up earlier today. I kind of feel like a lot, like Victor Buono and like a lot of actors like that, like you kind of had to be closeted back then. Like everybody kind of knew, but they didn't really want the information getting out to the public because, you know.
About Raymond Burr, you guys can probably dig it up in the internet so you can come back and confirm it for me. I don't want to open up another page, but I believe that's the one because I haven't talked about that or thought of that in a fucking long time. That was something that came up like fucking over 20 years ago. It was fucking hilarious back then. The story, and I think it was him they were talking about. Stories of him at parties and shit, Hollywood type parties. It was just mixed crowds, and motherfucker would come out fucking with just a shirt on, with his fucking dick swinging and trying to fuck some dudes. You know what I mean? Who's straight, you know. But he's like making a joke out of it that the dude's running away and everybody's laughing, you know, and there's women in there and shit. Evidently, that's how it was. But I think that's the way some of those Hollywood parties were back in those days.
I'm sure everyone was so fucking
wild, you know.
They were so coked up. They didn't
coked up, fucking drunk. They all had a kind of bunch of money, and they were all freaks too. All those people were fucking like it's like being in the carnival. So. And they all knew.
Well, like I said, it's not like
it wasn't.
You can't really if you're famous.
Yeah.
If you're rich and famous,
they can only party with each other.
Actually, you don't even have to be rich. If you're famous, if everybody knows who you are, you can't have a normal life.
Right.
I mean, you just can't.
Right. So they partied with each other, and they all knew each other's foibles and shit, and evidently they'd have a good time. You know, it's like being in the circus, or it's any other kind of scene. You know.
Yeah, you just kind of everybody just all kind of hang out together.
They're just hanging out together.
Yeah, John Smith says, true, guys like Tab Hunter had to be closeted for the majority of their careers. Yep, that's true. Like, Tab Hunter was one of the ones I was thinking of. But yeah, that happened a lot back then. And like I said, it happened to Victor Buono, who was the guy that was in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah.
Mr. 88 says, maybe ask Cynthia Plastercaster. I hadn't thought about her for a long time. Do you remember that woman? She was like a, well, they call her a groupie, but it's like she made plaster casts of all the rock stars'
dicks,
crotchular areas. Yeah, for like an art project.
Now, did that dude have to stay rocked up the whole time?
I don't remember. I don't know if they were fully erect. Were they? I can't really remember. It's been like a long time.
Give me more Viagra. You know, you're trying to. You're trying to keep it up for a long time. Trying to imagine it.
Yeah, I don't know. It would take a special dude to be able to like maintain an erection, like while somebody was putting like the plaster of Paris all over,
for 4 hours.
All over your crotch.
Yeah,
because that takes a while to dry.
Yeah.
So I think not.
Tying down fucking steel wires around the base of your dick. Get that bitch fucking. You ain't going nowhere. Now I got you.
I mean, I thought they were. I don't think they were erect, if I remember correctly. But I remember she was kind of like a thing in the... I don't know. I remember hearing about her like in the late 80s.
Yeah, Buono was on Batman 66, played King Tut, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Flaming King Tut. He was good, though, in every one of his roles.
He was in The Evil, too.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, Camp Guy says Liberace was GIPS, which stands for Gay in Plain Sight. My old man used to laugh like hell whenever he was on Johnny Carson's show. Yeah, fucking Liberace was a legend, though. And fucking, I told the story before on the show. You guys probably heard it before, you regulars. Evel Knievel had two, and Evel Knievel was a fucking psycho, okay? And he was all man. I mean, he was more man than a man should be. They should have taken some man away from him. Okay,
that's too much man.
It was too fucking dangerous. Okay, and he wouldn't shut his fucking mouth. Okay, Evel Knievel was a fucking beast. Okay, he was a modern day gladiator. He was literally entertaining crowds of people that wanted to see him die. That's what those stunts were about. Is that Knievel's like, I've just realized that these people really want to see me die.
Yeah.
They'll just keep coming.
I mean, if you asked them that, they would deny it, but that's absolutely... Why do you think people go see, like, watch NASCAR and shit like that? They want to see wrecks, man.
Knievel's stunts were fucking outrageous, and they really were dangerous. There were no safety equipment. Just a helmet. You know, I think his riding suit was leather, but there wasn't even any pads in it. All right? Doing jumps on a Harley-Davidson that was never meant to be in the air. A Harley-Davidson only lasted one jump. The frames would fucking snap on impact most of the time. It's just crazy, man. Fucking crazy. And the Snake River Canyon jump, a fucking rocket, all right? A 2-bit rocket. It wasn't even really a good rocket, okay? Anyway, Knievel had, and Knievel was a psycho. He was crazy. Beat some dude near half to death with a fucking baseball bat for writing about his wife. Okay, he was not a fucking normal dude.
I mean, it's a little excessive.
Yeah, and he was Southern. That's part of it too. You know, I think he was from where? Fucking Oklahoma? Not Oklahoma. Was it Texarkana? It was around that area. I think it might have been Oklahoma.
Or Texarkana is Arkansas, isn't it?
It's Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas, Oklahoma, something like that. Anyway, he had two legendary heroes, Elvis and Liberace.
So he liked a little bit of the glam.
He thought when he was, because you know, Knievel was paid basically to entertain at casinos. That's where some of those jumps had happened, and casinos would fucking pay to have him hang out as a guest and shit. You know what I mean? So he was making money just to show up and be an asshole, really. Okay. And he would eat for free at the fucking buffets and stay at the casino hotel for free and get to see all those free shows. And he wanted to see Liberace because Liberace was working in his casinos. And he loved Liberace, evidently. The whole thing about being suspended from the wires and flying around and the whole show and the music and Liberace doing his thing, and he thought that was the greatest show on earth. So when you saw Knievel, his little riding outfits and his show was modeled after Elvis Presley and Liberace. But he believed Liberace to be the bravest performer of all. And it's obvious from the wording of what Knievel's saying is because he's gay in plain sight. Just like...
I kind of feel like, because I kind of feel like most of the time, like I said, back then in those days, you really had to like stay closeted, kind of pretend you were straight.
Right.
Or you could go the Liberace route, which just goes so over the fucking top that people were like, yeah, he's super gay, but it's all right. Because it's almost like, I don't want to say it was almost like a caricature, but he went so far over the top that it was like okay again. Which
he
is
made
like,
it a thing.
Yeah, which is strange.
That was his branding.
Yeah.
But then he was never admit to it. He never admitted to it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what you did back then.
They asked him, they said, why didn't you ever come out? Everybody knew. And he goes, no, I had a lot of older female fans that had I come out like that, it would have broken their hearts. And I think there was something to that.
Yeah, because like old ladies back then, they wouldn't have known.
Yeah. He had millions of old ladies that had a huge crush on him, and they knew, but they were hoping that he was available.
I can make him straight.
Yeah. It was a fantasy they had.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. So what he's talking about fucking fag hags is what we call them, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, fucking, it's like my buddy Toby got a bunch of them, you know, fucking. But that's for every one gay man, there's like fucking you got 7 or 8 fucking overweight women that follow him around. They love him. You know, it's just how it is.
Well, like I said, because a lot of times
they're friends and shit.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of times it's like they're like a man, but they don't have like all the shit that you can't stand about dudes.
Yeah, and they're getting attention, and they're having a relationship with a guy. They're having a relationship with a guy who's not not in a sexual relationship with, but there's affection and friendship, and they can talk about things, and you know, it's that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And you look at and if you look at Toby, he's all man. So
Yeah.
And there's that pie in the sky fantasy I think that women have in that situation. Like, well, maybe one day he'll realize that I love him. That's what they're doing.
Sometimes.
I think that's part of what it is.
Gramthars says, question, do women like men with Coke can-sized dongs, or do they cringe when boom boom time begins?
Depends on the woman.
Yeah, it depends on the woman, and it depends on the person. There are some women that are size queens.
Yeah.
I think generally most women would probably be like, oh shit, here we go. Because probably it's like painful, you know what I mean? But, you never know. And like I said, it depends on the dude that the dick is attached to also.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not real body part centric.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just because you're fucking built like that doesn't mean all the women want you. If you're a fucking dick, then no. The women want the entire package.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with fucking cultural expectations and what's norm in a culture. Like, Jenny and I are actually speaking from the point of view of fucking North America. This wasn't a deal in Korea, Korea, let's just say, the ethnicity is very homogeneous, and Korean girls were size queens. Yeah. Because of expectations, they had heard things, and man, I don't want to get into that. They're very curious about fucking the what they were hearing about and what they saw in Western porn movies. Okay, because that's not really the situation going on in Korea so much. So they want to try that out, and if you disappoint them, then they're going to be mad because they have certain expectations, So, but in Korea, no, they were size queens. If she was with you, it's because she wanted to fucking get in your pants. And she's trying to get in your pants because of something she saw on video.
Yeah, watching the porn with the big old...
Yep.
Big old schlongs.
Yep.
That's really funny.
But their dudes are like that too, though. You go to Japan, if you're a well-endowed woman, you're going to be very popular. Very popular. Because Eastern women tend to be thin, at least especially in those days. From what I've been seeing, though, I think maybe because of fast food, a higher protein diet, a little bit more fat in the diet, they're growing. People in the East are growing bigger, and they're getting a little more shapely. Okay, but it didn't used to be that way. And Koreans were, when I was in Korea in the 80s, they were small, thin people. They're a lot bigger now. They're a lot more Western looking than they were. Diet, I think, has a lot to do with it.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, fast food kind of proliferated across the world.
Yeah. Because they ate a very low protein diet when I was there. So I don't know what that does to puberty,
John Smith says Anthony Perkins had to be so in the closet he was practically in Narnia. Yep, that's true. Poor Anthony Perkins.
I didn't know he was gay.
Yep.
The guy from Psycho?
Yep.
He got married, though, didn't he?
A lot of them did.
A lot of them did, yeah.
It's called a beard.
Okay.
I mean, especially if they were, like, really, really famous.
Yeah.
Sometimes the studio would be like, hey.
He grew up with Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Their parents were in the circus together or something. If I remember correctly.
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I think they were.
But yeah, he was like super closeted like most of his life, which is kind of a shame. I wonder if like
that was just the way it was back then.
Yeah, I know. Well, because his son Oz Perkins makes movies.
The gay scene was a lot more secretive. A lot more.
Well, yeah, you had to keep shit on the DL.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I've also heard some guys that went through that interviews with them. They said they kind of liked it that way. It was more exclusive. It was more.
Well,
exciting.
I get that. Like I said, it's just kind of like what we were always talking about. It's like, oh, we don't like the normies coming in the goth club and shit like that. I get it. Like it's more fun when it's illicit.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand,
it's a tighter crew.
On the other hand, you don't want to just be like walking down the street with your boyfriend and get your fucking ass kicked either. You know what I mean? So
I understand it.
So there's that. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, you know. DJ says, do you guys know about Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor? They were a thing for a minute, apparently. I had heard that.
Would not surprise me.
I had heard that.
Brando was evidently very experimental. He didn't believe in physical gender. You were whatever you were. You were like he thought of people as just souls, you know. And
that's okay.
If you said that if you called him bisexual, he probably would go, no, that's a limitation. He's not even. He was one of those kind. He was ultra theoretical. You know what I mean? But so that's why I said earlier on another show. It says you had to be careful with Marlon Brando because you sit there talking to him and fucking he'd all of a sudden just give you a kiss. You know. But you had to just say, "This is Brando." You just go, "Okay,
yeah,
all right, bro."
That's kind of
it's love. You know what I mean? It's not. He's not trying to attack you. He's just fucking. You know, he's just love. You know.
Well, I kind of.
He was crazy.
To
Brando
be honest,
was fucking crazy.
I mean, yeah, he was crazy.
He was fucking crazy.
But I don't think that's a crazy way to look at things.
No, it's not.
I mean, because just, like I like to take people on an individual case by case basis. Everybody's got their own shit going on. You know what I mean? It doesn't really like matter. A lot of shit like doesn't matter.
There's a lot of recorded interviews with Brando, and he's fucking loaded, and he's having a good time, and he's talking to people, and it'll be like a real straight up serious interview type of deal, and Brando's talking, and he's being deep, and fucking, then all of a sudden just goes and kisses dude on the lips. You know what I mean? And he's like, well, thank you, Mr. Brando. You know what I mean? Just fucking, you know, that's just how he was. You know, but it was also part of his brand. He knew what he was doing.
The Brando brand.
The Brando brand. All right.
TM.
Yeah, TM. That's how he was. He was an entertainer.
Yeah. Mr. 88 says, also called a lavender marriage. Yeah, that's right. I had heard that phrase before. Like if you married for the sake of like the public, if you were famous. Yeah, a lavender marriage. Shelby Melissa says, I think men overthink this. There is someone for everyone. Pretty much. I mean, there might be some exceptions, but the fact that serial killers get fan mail, that should actually, it's depressing, but it should also like conversely like cheer you up a little bit, because it's like, look, if there's somebody for those motherfuckers, then probably there's somebody out there that will like you.
Some women love danger. Some women love danger, and they love fucking bad boys. That's the ultimate bad boy. And also it's a way for them that they can get attention on themselves. I think that's part of it. But it's always.
I think a lot of it. You know what? A lot of it might be too. I think that that type of woman, one, they usually have daddy issues, big time, and two, they usually think, oh well, it makes them feel special because it's just kind of like this person like killed. You know, it was Ted Bundy or whatever the fuck. He killed like all these other women, but he won't kill me. I'm special. He loves me more than anybody. Like they don't even care. Like, which is fucked up. I mean, I'm not saying that's good. That's really like super fucked up. But yeah, I think that's kind of where they're coming from, because it makes them feel special because they're like, well, he's not going to kill me because I'm special. You know what I mean? All those other bitches were just victims.
Daddy Ghostface says he heard that Brando and James Dean hooked up. That wouldn't surprise me either. But it also wouldn't surprise me that Brando and James Dean would have lied and said that they hooked up. They would do that too. All right. The whole idea in that era was to get attention and to seem real cutting edge and like different from everybody else and not following any rules and breaking boundaries. Nowadays, that would just be fucking nothing, you know?
Well, yeah, it's like it would just go under the radar because like I said, and in a way that's good because, you know, back then it's like, ooh, it's like all boundary breaking, which like I said, I can see how back then it'd be kind of cool because it was illicit, but now I'm glad that it's not really that big a deal.
David Bowie and Mick Jagger, the rumor was they had a thing going on, and Angela Bowie. That's where Angie, from the song Angie that Mick Jagger was talking about. But other people who knew them recently, if I remember correctly, came out and says, no, they made that up. They made that up. That they were friends, but they weren't, you know. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't there.
We weren't there.
So it's like, it could have happened, it could have not happened, and then they were just like, ooh, let's tell everybody it happened.
Yeah,
like,
but they were the type.
Publicity.
You have to understand that David Bowie was an artificial homosexual. he maybe was bisexual, but he was an artificial homosexual. Okay, he was not a cross-dresser. He was not. That was art. That's what he was doing. He knew how to play he knew how to play the gay thing, the gay community. There were very wealthy and famous patrons of the arts that helped Bowie's career early on because they loved his material and what he wanted to do, and they would help finance his artistic projects, probably knowing that it was artificial, but it didn't matter. It was art, and they're bringing that expression into the mainstream, which helps mainstream society at least understand what the gay scene is going through. So it's more like an advertisement / artistic examination of what that scene was about. David Bowie's last video is him fucking dancing backwards, dying of cancer, going back up into the closet. He went back into the closet, and his final words were, "Tell them I was a closeted heterosexual."
I really hope that's true, because those are excellent.
Iman said that.
Those are the excellent.
Tell them I was a
words.
closeted heterosexual. It was the whole thing was show business.
I mean, that's right up there with either those curtains go or I do.
Yeah.
That's Oscar Wilde's last words.
Yeah. Now,
and then he died.
Yeah, but it's just that life imitates art, and artists, intelligent artists and good business people know how to entertain, and it's a storytelling exercise. They're taking you on a journey. And that's one of the things David Bowie did. He was a fucking master at it. A master. Okay? He was really good. And he was not a great musician, but he put out great music. Okay?
Well,
he was
and
an entertainer.
Look what he was responsible for, too. I kind of feel like it was largely David Bowie and glam rock and stuff like that came out in the 70s that kind of went a lot into a lot of the quote-unquote gender-bending stuff that you saw in the 1980s, with New Wave and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, hair metal later.
Now, when it comes to great gay musicians, I would say Elton John was better, but just from a musical standpoint. But when it comes from artistic standpoint, and what was gonna say? Just from as a performer, I would say David Bowie. Even though, like I said, he wasn't gay. It was an act, but I'm not gonna take anything. That doesn't take anything from him, though. It was still great material. Great material. But when it comes to now, the thing with Elton John is that Elton John, a lot of the material that he sang about was written by his straight friend, who they were friends for life.
Yeah, Bernie Taupin.
That wrote all that music. But Elton, when it comes to homosexual performers, Elton John was a real thing. Yeah, he was gay. Fucking great. He was a great performer, though. Fucking good music. Real good.
Yeah, I the older I get, the more I can appreciate the.
When I was younger, I didn't like him as much. I listened to it now and I was like,
well, yeah, I think we were talking about that before, where it's just kind of sometimes a lot of the music that came out in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, and I was just kind of ew, mainstream music gross, and it's I was into more underground shit. Yeah. But then the older I get, I'm just kind of you know what, that shit was really well, because now you have some distance on it. It's not ubiquitous. Right. It's kind of all gone into the thing.
Yeah. But now some people might come back. Well, what about dude from Queen? What's his Freddie Mercury from Queen? What the thing is that if you were really kind of look at Freddie Mercury, he'd probably tell you that he was bisexual. All right, because he messed with women too. Even though I think he was primarily more into guys, he messed with women too. If you want to say he's gay, then I'd say I'd put him above Elton John. But if you say no, he's bisexual, then I would put Elton John above him, if you know what I'm talking about. If you want to rank them that way. I don't like looking at people that way. But
yeah, because it's kind of
it doesn't
different.
Matter. Yeah.
I mean, the styles of music were different.
Right.
It's there's just a lot of.
Right. But when you're talking about non-cisgender, fucking Freddie Mercury, when it came to overall. That same thing, you say non-cisgender but metal, you know what I'm going to say. Rob Halford.
Yeah.
Rob Halford's God. Okay. Yeah, when it comes to fucking metal. And everybody's going to tell you that. And he's still around.
Yeah, that bitch still kicking.
Yeah.
Still kicking.
And it still sounds good. Sophie saw him live just a couple months back. She said, this motherfucker's fantastic. I said, yeah, he's great.
Camp Guy's talking about famous last words. Oh, Ben Franklin, yeah, burn that essay I wrote about farting. I had heard that was his last words too, because he did write a whole essay about. Well, didn't Ben Franklin?
Yeah, he was wild as fuck.
Well, I think it was a satirical essay. I think about this, and this is a while back that I read about this. So please forgive me if I'm remembering the details wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that he was writing about it was either some kind of drug you could take or some kind of thing that would make your fart smell like perfume or something like that.
I think it was satirical. It had something to do with the politics.
And I was like, what are you talking about? That's a good idea.
He was talking about some... Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about. I vaguely remember that. And then I think somebody had explained it. I don't remember all the details, but he was making fun of the British Parliament.
It was something like that, yeah. It was like a satire. But that's like really fun. I hope that was his last words in that essay I wrote about farting. Gramthars is asking some questions. Okay. Rando questions. Name the one book that had the greatest impact on your life. Is the first question.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of like a hard one. It'd probably be one that I read when I was younger, because, okay, I know, this might be a weird choice, but I'm gonna say Clive Barker's Books of Blood, Volume 1, because that was the book that I read. I had read shit before that.
Yeah.
But that was the first book that I read that I said, this is what I want to do. I want to write horror like this guy. That like really like kind of, I mean, I was into horror before that, but that was the first thing that kind of like opened up the possibilities of like what you can do with it. You know what I mean? Because it was so fucking weird.
Oh, there's some good comments up there if you back up.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to like,
okay.
What is the next bucket list item on your agenda? Oh, geez. I don't even know. I don't even have a bucket list. I don't know. Pretty much the only thing I want to do is like take another vacation at some point, because I'm tired. How many exes do you still keep in touch with, and why?
We don't really look at it that way. We party with a lot of our exes. Well, actually, your ex went back to the fucking Wales, so...
Yeah, and, like, honestly, like, one guy, I don't ever see him anymore. Yeah. The other guy I talk to every now and then, like, maybe every 6 months or something. But I don't ever see him anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that guy, was the one, he got married, right?
Who?
The one that got married? Remember that one ex you had? He was a nice guy.
Yeah, but they got divorced again.
Oh, they got divorced again? Okay.
Yeah, they weren't married that long.
Yeah.
She was nice, though. I like.
Yeah, he was cool.
And I saw her a couple times too, and she was really nice. But yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he was not a goth. He was like goth adjacent. He was more like an indie guy. He was into the fetish scene and shit like that.
But he was okay with the goth scene. Everybody liked him. He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was. He's super nice.
Me and Jenny knew each other at that time, but we were dating other people at that time.
Yeah.
Our history goes way back. We knew each other before we were fucking a thing. We became business partners before we were a thing, I think, didn't we? We're about the same time, huh?
More or less, yeah. I mean, we were friends for a long time before. Yeah, because like I said, we were still dating other people, because I was dating a couple other people at the time. Yeah. Well, not at the same time, but like sequentially.
Yeah. But Serpent Surfer, I think what's his name? Serpent said that Bowie's last words were "Tell him I was straight." Yeah, it's not quite what he said, but yeah, that's what he meant. He said, "Tell them I was a closeted heterosexual."
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny, and that's why he was dancing backwards into the damn closet, and the closet shut behind him. As he and people were like, "Boy, what's wrong with these videos? Why is he looking that way? Why is it so dark?" He's dying of cancer, singing all these things. He went out like a G. Had a good album. His last album was good. His videos are really good, and it's about him joining the dark, going back to the Black Star in the center of the universe, where fucking Major Tom was and everything, you know. So he's the whole Bowie verse is now fucking being folded back in on itself and closing
His whole
itself.
entire life was an art installation.
It was an art, yeah.
And you really have to respect that commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And they got the damn astronaut suit with the skeleton in it, and fucking, oh, Major Tom's dying. Yeah, dead, yeah. Yeah.
Camp Guy says goodbye Yellow Brick Road is genius. It is.
Yeah. Let me put some ice in that for you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Oh man.
Here, I'll empty some of it out. Put ice in both.
Put some ice in there. I wasn't really like thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop talking about Elton like he's dead. He's still gay.
Yeah.
I even kind of liked that Rocket Man movie. I know it didn't get like huge. We actually saw that in the theater, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I guess it didn't really get much get good reviews, but oh well. Let me see. Yeah, Bernie Taupin. Yeah, DJ Maniac said, I love that Rob Halford got a bunch of homophobes to dress like leather daddies and they had no idea. I think that's what delights me about the whole thing, is that everybody, like all these guys, like all these fucking rubes, like from some fucking trailer parks and shit. And no hate, I grew up in a trailer park too. But so I know what I'm talking about. And so like they came to these like heavy metal shows, yeah, like with all this fucking shit on, and like, oh my god, they're probably thinking, ooh, we're so badass. Like hilarious. We were kind of like thinking about that because we were talking about Top Gun because the new movie came out, and Oliver Harper put up a retrospective of the original Top Gun, which I'm not a huge fan of the original Top Gun. You know what I mean? You guys know I don't really like that cocky Tom Cruise kind of, especially when he was younger. I'm just kind of like, knock it off. But he did kind of bring up the whole homoerotic thing. But the hilarious thing was that growing up in the 80s, I kind of feel like I don't really know if straight people that were watching Top Gun, I'm sure gay people knew, but straight people watching Top Gun, I don't know if they picked up on it, because Tom was like, when I watched Top Gun like back in the 80s, nobody was thinking, oh, it's like super homoerotic. But if you watch it now, it's like, I mean, come on, it's like really, really obvious. But back then, it was just kind of like, yeah, super manly. I don't know. I just thought that was like really, really funny. But yeah, if you watch it now, it's not just Top Gun. It's a lot of movies that came out in the 80s. I mean, look at fucking, what was that? What's that one? Commando. Look at Commando, for Christ's sake. Holy shit. But it's just funny. Shelby says, do you guys decorate for Halloween? I'm already thinking about my theme this year, especially with inflation. Plus, kids kept coming last year. Yeah, we usually just do, I mean, last Halloween, we had just moved into this house. So we didn't really have a lot of time. But basically, we do like the lazy people's decorating, like outside, where we just have like those projection lights. We have like projection lights that have like ghosts on them. And what do we have? Like we have ghosts, bats, and something else. I can't remember. But yeah, we have like a bunch of those projection lights that we put all over the front of the house, like bats and ghosts and stuff. We didn't get... Did we get a lot of trick-or-treaters last year? Because we were here last year, right? Yeah, because we moved here before Halloween.
Yeah, we didn't get that many.
It wasn't that many. But, I mean, we might get more. Dan Michael says, what, in June? Yeah, well, the thing about it, if you guys follow any Halloween channels, like Jade the Libra or things like that, June... Man, she does deep dives, man. She has, like, spreadsheets and everything. A lot of stores start putting their Halloween shit, like, not all of it, but they'll start putting a little bit of it out, like, a little bit at a time, usually starting in June, depending on the store. Usually most stores will have some shit out by July, but she does, like, she did a video the other day that I watched that she had, like, this whole list of stores, and she was trying to, like, extrapolate, like, when they would be putting their Halloween shit out, you know, depending on, like, what they did last year. Usually, I mean, a lot of stores, I think, wait until after the back-to-school shit is over, because it's, like, they need all the room for all that kind of stuff. But a lot of stores will start putting a little bit of Halloween, or at least, like, fall stuff out in June, because that's when she starts doing her Halloween decor hunting videos, she calls them. She like drives all around. She lives in Kansas City, I think, and so she drives around, and sometimes she's with Voltaire, like, because she's friends with Voltaire whenever he's in town. So they'll go around to like drive around. She drives to like Michael's and Home Goods and like you know, Ross and all this kind of places, like looking for Halloween decorations. So, and she finds them usually starting in June, but you know, Holy Parish of Doom says, we realized Rob was gay when we were teenagers in the 80s. The whole leather boy thing was rather obvious. Yeah, I kind of feel like in the 80s, I guess I didn't think of it, not until... Well, I kind of thought of it, but not... It wasn't really that big of a deal for me. I was just kind of like... I guess I thought about it in the sense that... Because in the 80s, because I was really into, like, new wave and post-punk and stuff. And so there was, like, a lot of quote-unquote, like, gender bending going on with that. And so, you know, my grandpa would get all, like, grouchy about, like, Duran Duran. Oh, they're all gay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they're not. And actually, Duran Duran, none of them were gay. But, you know what I mean? Like, Boy George was, obviously. But... You know, some of the ones that they thought looked gay because they had an earring or whatever, because that was the thing. We're not. We're like straight.
Y'all married fucking supermodels.
Yeah, so you couldn't really tell. So I was just kind of like, whatevs. I didn't really care one way or the other. I'm just like, just make some good music and you know and whatever. And I wasn't worried about it beyond that. But I guess I don't know. I wasn't into heavy metal, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I started listening to metal, and I guess probably around 82. And I remember by the time I was probably around 83, 84, Judas Priest was one of my favorites at that time, really. I was listening to a bunch of shit. But around 84, 85, I bought one of their albums. It's called Sin After Sin. And you guys remember what it was like when you bought an album. Back in those days, man, you put it on the record player. You had your headphones on. They were big ass fucking headphones. They sounded good.
Took out the lyric sheet.
Took the lyric sheets out.
Opened the gatefold.
And you sit there and fucking
at the pictures.
Yeah. I'd be in my room. I was in Brazil at the time, looking out the window over Sao Paulo, fucking sneaking fucking shots of whiskey. You know, yeah, we did because. Really, you're not underage in Brazil at fucking 15 anyway.
No such thing.
No such thing. So you don't want my mom to catch me, you know, man. I was sneaking cigarettes. And I was listening to the Sin After Sin album. And we would listen to an album almost back to back sometimes. And it was like an experience. It was like listening to an opera. You had side A and side B. Be looking at the record album. Learning the lyrics. Well, Sin After Sin didn't come with lyrics, not printed lyrics. There was a song on there called Raw Deal. And I couldn't make out everything he was saying. But I realized what he was talking about. He was talking about fucking Leather Daddy Club. But I didn't know where Fire Island was in those days. You know? And you're talking about fucking, I walked in and fucking,
nowadays, well shit, Hulu has a show called Fire Island.
Yeah,
it's all about
Fire Island,
and man. Honestly... I remember hearing about Fire Island being like that was the place all the gays vacationed.
Yeah.
Back in the late 80s. I think the late 80s I first heard about it.
Yeah, and he's saying these steely fucking leather dudes fucking with their bodies heavy slinking away for some action. That's
and you were lyrics like, what could that possibly
And then they're going to like fucking, you know, and they're like a couple cops playing rough stuff. A couple cops playing rough stuff in New York Fire Island. Fucking, they're like, what the fuck is it?
Meanwhile, every gay dude is like, oh yeah,
playing rough stuff.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I knew something was up, and then he, later on he goes, and there he was, so mean and cruel. Fucking, and I was like, what the? And I was going, this must be that bondage stuff that they talk. You know, when you're like 15,
this must be that bondage thing all these kids are doing.
And I'm like, gay dudes do that? You know, I'm like, fuck you.
How can you do that now?
Yeah. Well, that started to kind of break bondage through, and I was like going, oh, okay. I get this now. All right, I understand this now. Like the whole vibe of the band started to make a little bit more sense once I realized that this is hyper masculinity. Okay, this is warrior homosexuality that we're talking about here. You know. And it made a lot more sense then.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That took about a year for me to kind of come to that. Like, when you're a kid, especially back in a low information environment before the internet, it takes longer for you to decide, oh, yeah, that's what it is. Because you didn't have access to porn or, you know, fucking magazines or that were on that subject. This is all super underground shit. I'm guarantee you, man, back in the 80s, average fucking metalhead dude had no idea that's what
Well,
that
that's
was.
what DJ Maniac was laughing
yeah,
about.
they
That
had
it's
no
like he
idea.
got a bunch of homophobes like dressing up like leather daddies.
Yeah,
without knowing.
Not without knowing.
Without knowing what
Without
they were
knowing
doing.
what that is.
Which, like I said, that always kind of like amused
Yeah, it
me.
was funny looking back on it. Now we go, we know that
Suckers.
scene. Yeah.
Suckers.
Yeah, they got you. They tricked you.
That's so cool. I hope he did that on purpose because that's like pretty hilarious.
Wait, that was his coming out song, but
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why there wasn't any written lyrics on that album.
I wonder if
Rob
he was
the
like.
shit.
I wonder if he was like really stressed out, like when that album came out. He's like, I wonder if they'll like know what I'm talking about. I mean,
He talks about it.
yeah.
He talks about it. He just says, "Well, we didn't have out. We were not going to put the lyrics out on that album. We're going to let it be vague. Let them figure it out."
Yeah.
No, Rob came
Fair
out in
enough.
fucking 80s, early 80s. Or that,
Just
actually,
no
that
one
might have
was
been late
really-
70s. That might have been late 70s. I think that might have been 79 when that album came out. It's just that you had to read between the lines, which that is classy if you ask me. It comes out, it has, you know what I mean? It's not in your face, well, it is in your face, but you had to come to that conclusion. They weren't he wasn't wearing it on his sleeve. It wasn't branding the band. He was just stating a fact. This is
Well,
what
the thing
deal is.
about it is that probably.
And it didn't really define everything. He was still doing his music.
Well, and the thing about it, like I said, because the band wasn't really like about that.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I want to like say who I am,
Yeah.
but I don't want to like make it like, oh, we're a gay band.
Right, yeah. That's not what it was.
He was just kind of like talking about his own experience.
It was power metal. It had love songs in it and stuff like that. It could fit anything. It had fucking songs about fucking being dangerous and on the edge. You could read into it whatever you wanted and make it fit into your situation. If you fucking listen to the Screaming of Vengeance song, Screaming for Vengeance, it's probably a fucking thing about fucking oppression. About the oppression of the fucking gay bondage scene. That's what it says.
Well, just the gay scene in general.
The gay scene in general.
But Stonewall, right?
That could fit anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't come out and just say that's what it is.
Well, it's more universal,
More
I
universal,
guess. So anybody
right.
that kind of like feels like they've been like shit on.
Right, yeah. So to me, it's more classy when it's like that. Because it's more accessible to everybody. And then later on, they go, what is that exactly about? When I'm talking about this, oh, okay, yeah, I see that now. I
Yeah.
see that. It actually makes it stronger. Because if you don't leave it open to interpretation, you've now narrowed the bandwidth down. See? You want to widen the bandwidth so everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
so
depending on
everyone-
what you're doing. I mean,
so everyone can access the emotions that you're talking about. And if you relate to that, you say, well, what were you talking about when you wrote it? I was talking about this. Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
yeah, but that's like analogous to
Right,
this
yeah.
situation.
It could be
that
this one, it could
yeah.
fit this one, and it could fit this one, and it could
Yeah.
fit this one. Right. Yeah. So they were more artistic back then. You leave everything open to art interpretation.
Shelby says, I love Jade the Libra. She's beautiful. Yeah, I love her too. And honestly, I really, really love... Shit, I will watch a 45-minute video of her, like, cleaning out her closet. And, like, arranging her closet. Just because, like, I don't know, like, her whole, like, personality is super cute. I don't know. She's just super cute. And, like, when she drives around with her fake skeleton
Yeah.
in the passenger seat
Yeah.
looking for Halloween decorations.
Maniac comes out because Rob didn't come out publicly until the late 90s when he was doing the industrial rock, and we all knew by then already. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny. But if you were a fan, though, of Judas Priest, you really would have known that he actually came out in the very late 70s on the Sin After Sin album. And that was long before the Screaming for Vengeance album or the British Steel album. And he came out in the prog rock era. He had come out. But you had to be paying attention. Big respect for Rob. Yeah, he's a great artist.
DJ Maniac says, oh, Voltaire is always in town for me. Yeah, he is. He has an apartment in New York City. Honestly, one of my favorite videos of his, because if you didn't know, like, Voltaire, other than being, like, a really cool, like, goth musician, also has a little YouTube channel where he's all, like, goth decorating.
Yeah.
And he did a great video where he was redecorating his teeny tiny New York City apartment bathroom.
Yeah.
And it ended up looking really cool. Like, his whole, like, aesthetic is black, white, purple, because purple is his thing. So I mean, the shit that he did in there was like really cool, and he does like videos about like making like crafts and all this other kind of stuff. But he seems like a nice dude.
Shelby Melissa's with us today. If you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to her channel, she's got a new little channel she's been working on. And then John Smith says the best thing about Duran Duran is named after the build for Barbarella.
That's right.
And then John says Frankie Goes to Hollywood was the best gay band.
I love Frankie Goes to Hollywood. They were good,
actually. But I also liked.
I mean, that song "Relax" is good. Two Tribes is good. All that shit is good.
Another good one though was what was the one that they had the. It was a damn orange CD that came out. Had a bunch of little things on it. They're the one that Move Out. Move Out.
Oh, is that Yaz?
Yes.
Or Yazoo, if you're in the UK.
I think it was Yaz. Yaz, I believe, was a gay band also.
Well, now, that was...
They were real good.
That was the dude, Vince Clarke, who was in Erasure.
Yeah, Erasure, yeah.
And and Allison Moye.
Yeah. Yeah, Yaz was great. I liked them. Real good. I would say that was a gay band. But the lyrics...
Not as gay as Erasure, because Erasure, that was... I mean, Vince Clarke is probably gay, too, but, like, Andy Bell was, like, flaming gay.
Yeah.
Like, Erasure. And they're kind of, like, an iconic, like, gay dance band.
In the Yaz band, though, it was just kind of universal. It was just music. And fucking, it was really good. I liked it. Good club music from that era.
Allison Moye did some good solo shit, too.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot better known in the UK than here, but I mean, she had a great voice. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, Shelby's talking about like Halloween, and Dan Michael said Halloween's so corporate now. I used to like it, but now it's just big business. Yeah, but
that's everything almost now.
But the thing about it is like, well, you don't have to like partake in that. You can just like do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. You know what I mean? I fucking love Halloween. I wish Halloween was all the well. Actually, I kind of wish it was all the time. But then I kind of don't, because then it wouldn't be, like, special. You know what I mean?
I remember when George Michael came out, it was all over the news.
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, I remember my senior year in high school. I fucking left Michigan and went back to Brazil to do my fucking senior year of high school. The Escola Graduada de São Paulo. And fucking, that was like the best year of high school was a senior when you had that shit made, boy, I tell you what. And they played in all the Brazilian nightclubs. They fucking played George Michael fucking 24/7. All the high school girls fucking listened to fucking George Michael. The Faith album was out. That fucking album was massive. Everywhere.
God damn. It was here too.
Yeah. By that time, I'd kind of left metal behind. I was fucking more into goth and fucking, really good fucking like cold wave and new wave is coming in. But I got sucked into George Michael. George Michael's fucking hits were really good. There was something about the tone of that music and the lyrics.
I even liked Wham. I'm not
I laughed at Wham when Wham first came out.
They were very perky.
They were very perky. I was into metal at that time.
But those were some good pop songs.
Later on, you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I'm at the goth club and they play "Wake Me Up Before You Go," I'm dancing to that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No shame.
But I remember being a senior in high school just with fucking mad respect for George Michael. Fucking those videos, I was like, man, that motherfucker's so heterosexual, it's not even funny. That motherfucker, damn. No.
Wrong.
But boy, it seemed to be that way at the time. I was like, that guy's on top of the game, man. But no, gay. Didn't know. But his videos were fucking great. A massive appeal to the fucking young heterosexual mainstream. Fucking loved it. They loved it. It was sexy sounding music. Faith. All that shit. Father figure. Those videos. Supermodel walk and just her
I want your
booty
sex.
I want your sex and shit. I think I got laid on several occasions just because of those albums. Back in those days.
Because of those albums.
Yeah, well, women, I'm saying women, they were girls. Actually, high school girls were ready to give it up behind that album. Yeah. So thanks, George. Thanks, George.
He's passed away, sadly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Something he died, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't old.
Well, no, he wasn't old. I think he was 50, wasn't he?
Something, or in his 50s.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I thought probably, like, I didn't like his solo stuff as much. I like it more now than I did at the time. I liked Wham at the time because I was like, that's super poppy, but it's also like really good and really catchy. Because I was like, I wasn't above that. So I liked that, but I didn't really think about like, is he gay? I'm like, I don't know, maybe not.
I wasn't even thinking
I was
about
like,
it.
could go either way.
I wasn't even really thinking
Like I
about
said,
it.
I didn't really think about it all that much. I was just kind of like, hey, if you make some good ass music, I don't really give a shit.
I just saw it and just recognized him as a straight guy. I was like, oh yeah. I was vibing with that because I could feel the same way. The writing was good. Okay, if a straight teenage guy's vibing with it and goes, that's right, we're gonna get some of his pussy, then you've written it well. He's probably not what he was talking about though. He's probably talking about dudes. It's just that I read into it. But from the the Wham era and everything you're talking about, they were pretty good. But looking back on it, and I liked it at the time, but I didn't want. I was kind of resisting liking it. Was Tears for Fears. Remember that?
Oh well, yeah, of course.
I liked Tears for Fears. I think they were better.
Yeah, I did like Tears. Well, they were a little more serious,
it was
a little darker.
Yeah.
I really liked Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
I liked Shout. Everybody wants to rule the world. Yeah. Head Over Heels.
Right.
All that shit's still good, and I actually liked that at the time, and I still like it now.
Yeah.
Wham, I was just kind of like, Wham, I was like, I didn't want to like it, because like I said, it was like so poppy, but I was like, man, this is so good, though. I mean,
Tears for Fears was a lot more like Depeche Mode, I felt.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. I liked Depeche Mode also, during that time.
Yeah.
And they were kind of new. They came out, and I was like, that's pretty good. And then it seemed like right after that, fucking Front 242 came out, and I was like, oh no, I like that. That's what I liked. When 242 came out, it was harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Vince Clarke from Yaz was in Depeche Mode for their first album.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the interplay between
the
them.
first album, which was called Speak and Spell. Was super gay.
Okay.
If you have never heard it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good album though.
Yeah.
It's like it's a gay dance album pretty much.
Gays were always on top of fucking club music.
Yeah, but he left, and then he went, and he was in Yaz, and then he formed Erasure with Andy Bell, and they got, like, massively successful, obviously. And then Depeche Mode, like, got... Yeah. Well, didn't the guy from Depeche Mode just die the other day?
Yeah, he did. Wasn't the singer, was it?
No.
No, it was one of the guys in the band.
Was it Andy Fletcher, I think? Was it Andy Fletcher? Yeah, holy shit, I can't believe that. I used to have fucking posters of Depeche Mode all over my fucking walls.
People are aging out. And a lot of those guys were into drugs.
Probably.
The heroin and stuff.
Dan Michael says, poor Andrew Ridgeley, nobody cared what he was. Yeah, they really didn't. I kind of feel, Andrew Ridgeley, I wonder what ever happened to him. He was the other guy in Wham.
Okay.
By the way. And I'm just always kind of like, he always really got upstaged.
Yeah.
Like George Michael. That it's like, I'm sure he did shit afterward, but it's like, everybody's like, whatever.
He didn't stand out.
We didn't give a shit about that dude.
George Michael stood out. And I remember those videos of George Michael and that dark-haired guy, and fucking George stood out and looked uncomfortable in that band. He just looked uncomfortable in that band, if you asked me. I saw some stuff live. I think that dude was hitting on him, and he didn't want to be with him.
That's some speculation, but I mean, maybe, I don't know.
They're both gay.
I don't know much about their
Looked like he was trying to get the fuck out of there.
All I remember was the Wake Me Up Before You Go video where George had like these really, really bright white little bitty shorts on.
Yeah, we were laughing
and
at
he was
shit.
Like super enthused.
Yeah, we were laughing at that shit.
I was like, wow, he's really excited to be in this video.
Wham sounded good, but we were laughing at that shit live. The way they looked and everything, it was kind of like it was on par with later on Milli Vanilli coming out. We would laugh at that shit, even though the sound of Milli Vanilli was great. But that wasn't them. It turned out those were just some dudes they hired to fucking lip sync to that music.
Yeah.
That was some.
It's like, hey, the guys that were actually singing, it's like, you guys are kind of fat.
Yeah.
Can we get like some hot model types
to
come in here? Yeah, let's get some
fucking skinny fucking black dudes that look hot and have them dance, and we'll say that's who's singing. That's not who is fucking singing.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah.
Not so well, in case you weren't there.
Actually, one of those dudes, I think, killed himself later on, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Was it Rob or Fab?
think so. He tried to do his own career and it didn't work, and then I think he ended up committing suicide.
Can you imagine? Like, that would be God.
And those dudes really couldn't sing.
I mean, that's what, like, we kind of laugh about it, and it's like a punchline, but in a lot of ways, then I kind of, like, back up, and I'm like, wait, that's, like, a person.
Those are dudes, yeah.
Those are, like, people, and it's like, they have to, like, live their life, and they're just, like, a fucking punchline in history, and it's like, that's really gotta be, that's gotta suck a lot.
Yeah, Maniacs talking about who cared about who. And
so I feel Camp Guy says Annie Lennox and the Eurythmics were awesome during that time period. Oh yeah, I really liked the Eurythmics, man. Sweet Dreams, like Here Comes the Rain Again, like oh man.
Maniacs said that Rob killed himself. I don't know which one that was.
Yeah, Rob and Fab.
Yeah,
that was their names.
Yeah, it's a shame, but they became a laughing stock.
Yeah,
and that was back when there was no internet and everyone was fucking channeled into a very narrow bandwidth, and that was almost kind of like the collective consciousness of America. When it came out that those dudes were not the dudes actually singing, they just became a fucking laughing stock, and that one dude fucking killed himself behind it. Nowadays, if that would happen, it would go unnoticed that they weren't the singers.
I mean,
they wouldn't care.
Everybody would like talk about it for a day
and
then like some other shit would happen.
And then that dude would open up a YouTube channel and get more hits on his fucking YouTube channel than he did on the original band. Be some shit like that.
I mean, probably. I kind of feel like, like I said, in a way, it's like people decry shit nowadays, but in a lot of ways, I think it's like kind of better. Because back then,
he said it was the light-skinned German one.
Yeah.
See, for you youngsters who don't know what we're talking about, just look up Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli was a band that had fucking really good music.
This was like late 80s, early 90s, I kind of feel like.
Sounded great. It had a great look. It was basically two black guys with long dreads in matching outfits, and they were kind of funny looking, kind of shorts, and kind of like something out of Culture Club, if I remember correctly.
Sounds like some matching dance moves.
They synchronized dance moves. And a girl, you know it's true, and fucking.
That's literally the only Milli Vanilli song I know.
Fucking those dudes were getting laid like crazy, man. All the fucking white girls were fucking going crazy. All right. Turned out they weren't the ones singing. They were lip syncing the whole time to dudes who actually wrote that, and they were overweight guys.
They got busted in the lamest way possible. It was a live show, and they're out there on the stage singing the song. And for whatever reason, because they didn't have the technology back then, it was a record.
It started skipping.
And it started to skip. And they tried to, like, cover it up, being like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, a record? Really? Yeah. Like, don't you guys have, like, fucking tapes?
And then they started investigating,
Christ.
and it turns out they had nothing to do with the music. It was just hired dancers.
Yeah. They couldn't sing.
Yeah, they couldn't sing at all.
Yeah, DJ Maniac says the DAT tape got stuck.
Yeah, DAT, okay.
I mean,
he would know all the details. I thought it was a record too, but and here's the deal. I never saw that. We just heard that, and that was enough to destroy that whole fucking band.
I mean, I saw it, and I didn't see it live, but I saw it later.
And they were fucking top 10. They were selling top 40 at least. They were top 10, I think. They were selling so much fucking albums.
They were
They were like a sensation.
And then after that, it was like immediately like they just became like a laughing
down
stock.
To nothing, became a laughing stock. One of them killed himself behind it. He was kind of a light-skinned German guy. They were black guys. I didn't know where they were from, but they were cute, man. Fucking, and them girls fucking loved them. I remember girls fucking talking about, oh yeah, that guy, oh he's so cute, and this and that, you know. And there was nothing else like that.
I was way into Alien Sex Fiend at that point
like
in Bauhaus.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But at that point. But yeah. And it's like, and I'm not going to lie, I laughed along with the rest of the world at that because I'm like, okay, whatever, fakers. I didn't really care that much because, like I said, I wasn't like a fan or anything, but.
For me, it was like a flash in the pan. They came out of nowhere. Everybody was talking about it. I heard the song and everything. I was like, yeah, that's a catchy fucking song. And I looked at him and says, yeah, that's a good look. Okay? And then just like, felt like weeks later, it's fake. Out of nowhere. Boom.
Yeah.
It was just another time.
Yeah, they were just like a fucking punchline.
Yeah.
Every nighttime talk show, everything, like they were all making jokes about them.
Yeah.
So can you imagine
how they
I mean, like I
their
said,
ego up.
nowadays...
And they were just hired to do it.
I mean, nowadays it's like really diffused, I guess, because it's just kind of like you don't have the entire wrath of like the whole culture coming down because everything's like so fractured. But back then, like everybody knew. You know what
DJ's
I mean?
giving more details. See what it says?
I know a little bit about primitive recording tech. Their vocal tracks were recorded on DAT for live performances. Okay, yeah. So I kind of thought
Rob was from Germany. And Fab was from France.
Yeah.
Okay. They look like twins to me. I thought they were like twins. They looked the same.
They just had that model look.
They had like models. And I'd had to go back and fucking look at it. It's been since I was a kid that I saw them. And I remember they had these little black outfits on. They were like black shorts and black jackets and little.
I remember
black hat,
like the knee-length shorts.
knee-length shorts.
Because I remember it's like, what are you even doing, man?
Yeah, they were like dressed
Knee-length
almost kind of
shorts.
like pilgrims in shorts. That's what they look like. That's how I remember. Fucking
Now,
maniac.
what I remember was...
Did they dress like pilgrims in
No.
shorts? That's how I remember.
It was
Or like,
knee-length shorts.
Kind of like dudes from Jewish bar mitzvah fucking kids or something like that. With the fucking little hats and the...
Yeah, but that was kind of in style at the time.
Yeah, it's true. It was because I think that kind of came from...
I mean, it was knee-length black...
Yeah.
It was knee-length shorts.
Yeah.
I remember white shorts. They might have had black ones, too.
Yeah.
And then, like, they had, like, just a regular, like, white collared shirt and, like, a black jacket. And then they had the dreads, and then they had the hats. But like I said, that wasn't that... That's kind of what the style was at the time.
It was almost kind of like something... it was kind of hearkening back at that time to Boy George. It felt like something like...
Yeah, but not
Boy George had
not as extreme.
Yeah, not as not gender bending. It's just kind of...
I mean, because Boy George had a whole aesthetic going on. It was almost kind of like a much watered down like version of what Boy George was up to. DJ Maniac said they did the same thing with Martha Wash. Yeah, that's right. And CNC Music Factory used her voice and hired a model.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That CNC Music Factory. Everybody dance now. You know that.
Oh, that
song?
wasn't her, huh?
Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, the woman you see in the video. That's not who's singing.
It was just a fucking totally fake construction from the
Yeah, they're like, well, we have to make a video. We don't want like you heavy people.
Well, they knew what they were doing.
In the video.
They knew what they were doing. It was about marketing and sales, and it's just corporate shit. And in those days, your videos for your songs really dictated where you were going to be and how many albums you were going to sell. So it was about looks. If you didn't have the looks, things had changed from the early '80s with, some of the stuff that some of the stuff from the early '80s. If you look at the old videos of hit songs, are a joke. Like, man, I can't believe that was a hit song. How low quality that video is. The videos by this time.
Well, they didn't have a lot of videos.
They
in
didn't
the
have
80s.
very many. They had to be slick as fuck.
It was a new medium.
Yeah, and everybody had to look great in them, because millions and millions of people were going to see it. So they had to, if you didn't look that good, they had to clean it up. They had to put fucking model in there, fucking pretending to be you. You weren't going to tour anyway, most likely. They were just
especially if it was like a dance track.
Yeah, if it was a dance track, you weren't going to tour. They were just going to fucking sell that song and that album over and over again. Which made sense. But there were still a lot of real good-looking, talented artists. Like, D-Light. Remember that band?
Yeah.
D-Light.
Groove
They did a lot of good fucking... Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the... And she really did look that cute. That was her. And that really was the band. So they weren't all fake.
Well, I kind of feel like most of them weren't, but, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be in a band and you want to, like, make videos and be famous, you do have to at least you don't have to look like a supermodel, but you do have to kind of, like, put your best foot forward, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of feel like, in a lot of ways, people kind of felt betrayed about that because it's just kind of like they weren't really singing. They were just lip-syncing.
Right.
You know what I mean? John Smith says you should see the behind-the-scenes footage from when they were recording the Live Aid Do They Know It's Christmas song. Boy George is being such a bitch to George Michael.
Yeah.
I probably saw that like a long time ago because honestly, I really, really like that song. Even though the words are like super cringe like nowadays, but that's still like a good Christmas song. And I was really into that because, it was like everybody, like I said, it was Culture Club, it was Duran Duran, it was like everybody that was a Bananarama. It's like everybody that was like famous back then, like were on that. Boomtown Rats. And, you know, so I probably saw that, but I don't actually remember. So I should probably, like, look into that because that sounds like super funny. How is he being a bitch to him? They didn't, I kind of feel like, did they not get along? Am I remembering that wrong? Like, I kind of felt like they were always kind of, like, had a little bit of a feud going on. DJ Maniac says, I'm heading out. Have fun, kids. Okay, well, you have fun, too. Yeah, we'll be heading out probably in about, like, an hour or so. Yeah, DJ Maniac says Martha Wash was in The Weather Girls. Yeah, that's right. It's Raining Men. Yeah, they did a bunch of songs, but that's like their best known one. Cam Guy says, I saw the Eurythmics at the Fox Theater Atlanta in the early 1980s, one of the best concerts I had ever seen. I mean, the Eurythmics were really, really good. That was kind of like in the early days of MTV, because we got, when I was a kid, like, you know, I probably brought this up before, my dad worked for the cable company, so we got MTV right when it started, like in August of 1981. And I was 9. And I got immediately, like as soon as it came on, Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star, I was into it. I watched it all the time. And I kind of feel like the Eurythmics, all that kind of stuff, that was one of the first, that's some of the first videos, the first batch of videos that I remember watching on MTV. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, and that was 82. That was 82, I think. Like, Sweet Dreams. It was, the videos that I remember most from that time period were Sweet Dreams from Eurythmics, Psychedelic Furs, Love My Way, Modern English, I Melt With You.
Yeah. That was another one that was closeted.
Who?
Dude from fucking...
Richard Butler.
Richard Butler.
From the Psychedelic Furs.
Motherfucker sounded great, man. From the Psychedelic
I love the
Furs.
Psychedelic Furs.
Fuck.
That was, like, easily one of my favorite, like...
He just sounds really
bands
good.
from when I was a kid. When I was a kid. The first time I heard Love My Way in 82 or whenever that came out, like, I saw it on MTV, and I'm just kind of like, what? I bought all their shit.
President Gas.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, all their shit's good.
Yeah.
They're, like, all their shit, they started out, like, more punk.
More punk, yeah.
Because I bought their first album, which was called Talk, Talk, Talk.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, that was like just a more like straight punk album. And then like they kind of went more post-punk, new wavy, like as it went on. But yeah, they're a really good band. We saw them live.
We saw them live, yeah.
Several years ago.
Yeah, in a room full of fucking yuppies. Me and Jen are the only fucking goths there. Yeah, they sounded great live. Good. This is when in Florida. Florida resorts.
I think this is probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was that I think what I enjoyed the most about, I've seen the Psychedelic Furs because I saw them before I met you. I saw them a couple times at not Visage, but what's that other place? Firestone. Mm. I saw them at Firestone like a few years before I met you too. But the thing about it is that Richard Butler, like the band and everything like that, they always look like they're having the time of their fucking lives. They just seem like they're into it and they're like super enthusiastic, and that goes like a really long way. And the same thing, like when we saw them, at wherever that place was,
they was at a hotel.
Yeah, it was like
was that it was a Hard Rock Hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Hard Rock
Hotel.
Yeah, it's Hard Rock Live.
Yeah.
And they were like really good, and really they looked like they were just having like the fucking. They just looked like they were having a
fucking sea of people who didn't even know who they were.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of people. Oh, we're just staying at this hotel, and we just wandered down here.
Yeah.
And they're like drinking some fucking. Yeah. It was just like, and we were like up there in the front going, "Yay, President Gas!"
Yeah. We're out there in the front, fucking rocking out, and I fucking walk away, and fucking we're all gothed out, and some dude fucking grabbed the back of my jacket like that, and turned around like that, and fucking three other jocks fucking jumped on that dude and went, no. Leave him alone. Maybe they thought we were with them, or thought we were with the band or something. I don't fucking know.
That was a weird night.
It was a weird fucking night.
That was a weird night.
But I had the jocks protecting us. It's weird, man. It's weird.
That was very weird.
Yeah. They thought we were with the band, I guess. Because dude pulled on the back of my jacket.
Because we were the only goths to have people there.
What the fuck are you doing? And fucking
some like second
3 or 4 dudes fucking jumped on him. No, don't touch him. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking funny.
That was like so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great show. I wish we would have had because I saw them at, what was that place? was either Firestone or The Edge. Do you remember The Edge? It's not there anymore.
No.
But I saw them there before I met you. Probably more than once, actually. And, that was more like a gothy crowd. Mm-hmm. So seeing them at Hard Rock Live was very strange because I thought that like more gothy people would turn out, but they really did not.
All right, Maniac, we'll see you around, bro. He's got to go.
Yeah,
he's got to go to work.
Yeah, I saw that.
John Smith said that Boy George hated that George Michael was closeted, didn't fancy him, kept making jokes about him being gay in the footage.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that. See, I didn't remember that.
And he called.
Yeah, because he's just like, well, he's probably just like, why are you being that way?
John said that fucking Golden Earring had a great video to Twilight Zone. I love Golden Earring.
I used to like that.
Yeah, they were really good.
I like that song.
They also did Radar Love, didn't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't that also good? Yeah, they were also good. I liked them. I also like Falco in the original fucking German. Yeah. In German, not English.
Der Kommissar.
Yeah, Der Kommissar.
Although the After the Fire version, which was the English version, the band was called After the Fire. I like that version too. Yeah. But Falco, he died too, actually.
John Smith says, I remember Psychedelic First for Pretty in Pink. Oh, that's the that song is a fucking great song, but they have so much other really good stuff.
Well, and the thing about Pretty in Pink is that the original version of the song was on, I think, their first album. So it was much more punky. Yeah. Now, this movie was actually based kind of on that song. Or at least, like, Molly Ringwald brought that song, because she was a big Psychedelic Furs fan, to John Hughes and said, hey, I want to use this song in a movie or something like that. So he wrote the screenplay kind of around that. Yeah. And then they did another version of the song that you hear in the movie. But there's actually like kind of a rougher, like punkier sounding version, like that came out in 81, I think. But the movie is actually sort of partially based on the song. John Gora says Psychedelic Furs was one of Warhol's latter-day projects, if I recall. That's possible. Wait, were they? Say My Name said, where are those clubs? What state? I think he's talking about what we're talking about. I guess the clubs we're talking about. Maybe. We're talking about Florida. We're in Florida. We're in Florida. Central Florida. Yeah. In the Orlando area. Yeah. Disney and all that. Yeah, I mean, all the shit we were talking about, like The Edge, that's not there anymore. But they used to do a lot of live shows there. Visage is long gone. John said that he never saw Pretty in Pink. No, you got to see it. It's a good song. It's a good movie. Yeah. It's probably, I'm trying to think, like, I mean, John Hughes movies, probably Pretty in Pink is my favorite. Yeah, Judd Moss says Ghost and You is my favorite Psychedelic First. Oh, that's so good. It's a good one, yeah. I was just, honestly, other day, I was thinking of, what's that one song they did? I think it's called Run, Run, Run. Yeah. I think it's on their first or second album. And I had that on my phone, and I used to like hear that on my my walks all the time, and it's like, that's a really fucking good song. But that was probably my favorite album of theirs is the one that has Love My Way on it. But which is called Forever Now. Yeah, Forever Now. I had it on vinyl, and then I had it on cassette also. I had Midnight to Midnight, and I didn't like it when it came out. I didn't like Midnight to Midnight either, because I was more into their old shit. Like I said, I like their more punky shit. Although I went back later and listened to Midnight to Midnight, it had grown on me a little bit. Yeah, it's good. It was good. It's just that had Heartbreak Beat on it, right? It had Heartbreak Beat on it. Yeah, see, I didn't love that when it came out. I thought it was a little too poppy. It was too poppy at the time, but you go back and listen to it in recent years, you go, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that was the last album of theirs that I bought. Yeah, me too. It was. Because Heartbreak Beat came out, and at this point, this is what, like, I think this was early 90s. I want to say it was like 91, 92, somewhere like that. And at that point, like, MTV had a couple of shows. They had 120 Minutes. They had Postmodern MTV. So they were showing, you know, so you had, like, Heartbreak Beat, Psychedelic Furs, like, So Alive, like, Love and Rockets. You had, like, all of these kind of, like, you know, songs from bands that were kind of like underground, or they used to be, and then they would put out like these really poppy songs. And so I was like less into that. I kind of feel like, so when Midnight to Midnight came out, just like when the Love and Rockets album, oh bless you, sweetie. No, that's the back of my shoe. I thought she sneezed. Yeah, it sounded like a sneeze, but it's not. It's just that. And like when Love and Rockets put out their self-titled Love and Rockets album, I was just kind of like, well, I like their older shit. Yeah. I was being like a hipster. But back to the reason why I even talked about fucking the Psychedelic Furs is that I never would have suspected that Richard Butler was gay. It just wasn't an issue. It wasn't a topic of the albums or anything. He just seemed totally straight to me, you know? And there was nothing really gay about any of the material, which I guess that was the idea behind the band, and
did his job. You know, fucking if that's what they wanted, that's what they got. But when I found out he was gay, I was like, man, that dude's gay. He seems straight as shit to me. You know, it's weird.
Like I said, I never really thought about it one way or the
never
other.
came up. It doesn't come up in the music at all.
Yeah,
it's just music. You know, intelligent music of the time. I was kind of surprised to hear it. You know.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised, of course. You know, fucking. You know, when some of the other ones came out, like when fucking Rob Halford came out, I was like, oh yeah, well I always knew. He said back in '79 that he was gay. You know, fucking. Just you weren't paying attention to the lyrics. You know. It was just another time.
Yeah, and like I said, it was something like, because there was a lot of that going on in the 80s, I kind of feel like people didn't really focus on it as much.
No, you would have thought that Robert Smith was gay if you weren't really paying attention.
But he's not.
But
he's been married like forever.
Yeah, he's been married forever.
Like to his girlfriend that he met when he was 16.
You maybe would have thought that fucking. Like
I think they're still married.
You would have thought that like half the fucking members of Duran Duran were gay. No,
and none of them were.
None of them were.
They were all straight as shit.
Nick Rhodes, he's gay. No,
nope.
That was the straightest one. He was the straightest one out of all of them. The pretty one with all the makeup was the straightest fucking one. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. You didn't assume it. And he was the most.
You're assuming based on fucking.
You didn't assume it.
Yeah.
Because all the dudes were wearing makeup and had like crazy hair and shit back then. So you didn't assume that anybody's like. You're just like we don't know.
You're assuming that must be the gayest one. That's not what he was, man. And he was the most gangster out of them all. Fucking little bitty pretty motherfucker with his fucking hair and his fucking makeup and shit. And that was the one you couldn't. If you had a hot wife, you couldn't leave her with him. You know? He was one of those.
Oh my God.
It was like Prince. You know, Prince, same way. Sexually aggressive little motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You gotta like get in there like that sideways.
Yeah.
John Smith said, I saw The Breakfast Club at exactly the right age to do so. Yeah. I think I did as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, The Breakfast Club, actually probably The Breakfast Club is the best one. But he made so many good ones. But I really liked Pretty in Pink because, one, the soundtrack was amazing. I loved Ducky. I liked the whole, you know, even though he was a little bit stalkery from like today's perspective. But I liked the whole poor girl rich guy, although I kind of wish she would have dumped that rich guy because he was kind of a douche, but you know what I mean. In the book, she actually ends up with Ducky, the book that was written afterward.
It's probably how it would have been in real life.
That's what I'm saying. Because I kind of feel like that rich guy, he was kind of a turd to her.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to see that, though.
Yeah.
I think you were supposed to see how dumb teenagers are.
And also, can we talk about, and I know everybody's talked about this, but the dress that she made for the prom, what the fuck are you thinking, girl? Yeah. Come on. I know, I get you're crafty and everything like that, but her friend, the punk rock chick, who was played by Annie Potts.
Hot as shit.
Who was hot as shit.
And didn't notice it at the time. The one from fucking Ghostbusters.
I love her. Yeah. She's my favorite character.
I didn't notice
Pretty in Pink.
I didn't notice at the time when I was young how hot that fucking woman was.
She's super hot. But, she had like big spiky hair. I was like, oh my God, I'm so into it. I love this woman. I love this woman.
As soon as you pass 25, all of a sudden you're like, oh no, that chick's fucking hot, man. What the fuck?
She's super hot.
Very hot.
And she's like in there, like in her fetish clothes. She runs to like the record store. Since when? Since I spent the night tied up in the back of your car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like she's fucking great in that.
Yeah.
And like when she turns into like a yuppie because she's dating a yuppie, I was like, no, it made me so sad. But then like she gives Andy, like Molly Ringwald's character, her dress from like the 60s, and I was like, I would have worn that just as it was. Right. It was beautiful. And she cut it all up and made it into like this fucking bag. I'm like, bitch, what are you doing?
Crazy.
You should have just worn it like it was. I was like, shit, she could have worn it like it was and done her hair like in a fucking beehive. That'd have been fucking fantastic. You'd have looked like the fucking B-52s. That would have been great. But no. What are you doing? Judd says Ducky was my hero when I was in middle school. He was great. Gramthar says Gramthar let his kids watch Weird Science recently. Their favorite scene was when Kelly LeBrock turned Bill Paxton into a turd.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Can you believe that hot ass fucking woman was married to fucking Steven Seagal?
I can't believe it. What was she thinking?
How did he lie his way into that?
He must have lied his way into it.
Oh,
Or
well, no,
he drugged
exactly.
her or something.
Of course he fucking lied his way into that.
She probably woke up one morning and was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing here?
I'm in bed next to Steven Seagal. I need to get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. That's
It
how
took
I
her a
imagine
few
it.
years, I think, to snap out of it. But that
Probably.
motherfucker's a pathological liar.
I mean, what could he possibly have
I don't know.
to offer someone like Kelly LeBrock? I don't understand. Judd also says Some Kind of Wonderful is a pretty great John Hughes film. Yeah, I was really into that one too. Like, a lot of people kind of like dismissed it because they were like, oh, it's just like a gender reversed Pretty in Pink. But it had its own thing going on, and Some Kind of Wonderful also had a fantastic score. So there's that. And I loved Watts. I loved that character. Like, she was fucking great. Like, everybody made fun of her because she was too boyish, but she was like all in love with Eric Stoltz, and there was a whole it's good if you haven't seen it. Like, I really, really do like the soundtrack of that too. Like, John Hughes really did capture. I mean, I know Molly Ringwald has come out later and be like, you know, some of the stuff in there didn't age super well, I'm gonna say, but especially some of the weird like racial stereotypes, but I mean, he really did capture the zeitgeist of growing up in the 1980s. I think I related to Pretty in Pink the hardest, and Some Kind of Wonderful too, to a lesser degree, because, I mean, the character of Andy in Pretty in Pink, I mean, she lived in like kind of a shitty house, like with her single dad. She had like a shitty car, which honestly, I was kind of like on her kind of thing, but I was like, wait, you have a car and a phone in your room? Holy shit. Like, you were like way wealthier than I was when I was that age. But she was still like portrayed as poor. So, you know, it was a little bit like, okay, like I did have a phone in my room, but I didn't have a car until I was in my 20s because I couldn't afford it. But there was that. But so I thought that was kind of like funny. But she did kind of live in a shitty house, and I liked the whole like rich poor thing, because the high school that I went to was mostly like upper middle class people, and I was like very working class. So I kind of got that whole, you know, and I wore like a lot of secondhand clothes and stuff like that, and I got made fun of a lot because of, you know, my cheap ass clothes and stuff. So I got like so a lot of that like resonated, I guess. That movie. Huh?
We get another drink. I was out there. Pookie wanted me to fucking throw things at her.
Yeah, she's always like, why are you guys like constantly playing with me? You go out the door and she'll like run up with her little butt wiggling, and she'll be like, brah, like, come on. That's her way of saying, like, she trills, and then she like runs down the hall. Come on, come on, come on, come on. She has like a little chicken and is like, pick up the chicken and throw it. Like, I want to catch it. Come here and brush me. Let me sit in the window. It's all that kind of stuff. Camp guy is talking about, I'm telling him everything. I'm thinking about making up some shit. Oh my god, Camp guy said that's my favorite line from Weird Science. How about a nice greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray? I still say that every now and then. That fucking makes me laugh so much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, long duck dong. Yeah, it's a little problematic. I mean, at least that actor got work. I just think it's funny because that actor, if you don't know, does absolutely not talk like that. So, which is funny because we were watching Karate Kid the other night. Like, because Louis sent us the steelbook of Karate Kid, so we were rewatching it the other night. And Pat Morita, if you guys didn't know, like, he, again, does absolutely not talk like he talks in the movie. He was actually talking like his uncle. That's where he got that, like, accent from. But he just, like, talks like an American. You know what I mean? He just has, like, a regular-ass American accent. So I just thought that was, like, kind of funny. The end scene with Watts was awesome. Yeah. I mean, I really, really liked that. I liked that whole scene where he he spent his whole entire savings like to buy those ugly ass diamond earrings. Weren't they like cubes or something?
Try that. That's good.
And then, is there tequila in it?
No.
Oh, okay. I know how you try to fool
No, that's
me
that Minute
sometimes.
Maid.
Oh yeah, wait. What flavor is that?
Passion fruit.
Oh, okay.
Passion fruit Minute Maid.
It smelled kind of weird, like when I. I'm not a big fan of passion fruit.
It's real strong though. I mean, that's almost half vodka.
Is it?
Yeah.
We got we got some of those Minute Maid drinks. We got like tropical punch, and I got like watermelon lemonade. And
yeah, we went shopping today. We went down to Publix and fucking saw that in the fucking grocery aisle. It was up there, and we're like, you know what? That's a pretty good price. So we got a bunch of it's Welch's. Welch's and
one of them
Minute
is
Maid.
Welch's.
No,
we got
two
Welch.
of them were Welch.
Yeah, and then we got like the Minute Maid was cheaper.
Yeah.
But they only had tropical punch and fruit punch. Welch's had like a fuck ton of different flavors, but they were more. They were like 3 something.
Yeah.
And the Minute Maid ones were only 2 something.
Yeah, got them by the half gallon, and I said, Jenny, that'll make good mixers.
Yeah.
It's kind of sugary, and I was like, well, so are the mixers.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, that shit's good, man. That shit's really good.
And plus, like I said, all I've had today is like one single sandwich. Although before we go out late, like
we're gonna get something to eat.
I should probably eat something before we go out. But we still have time. It's 8:10.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole.
Mind having some eggs.
Oh, that's
like a egg and cheese burrito or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good actually.
Okay. Or an egg cheese sandwich, one of the two. Fast, easy to make.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Judd's talking about the last scene of Some Kind of Wonderful, which I was like, I laughed when. So he gives her the earrings. Like he tried to give them to what's her face. It was in Back to the Future, and she says no. It was like she gave them back to him. She's like, in your heart, you wanted to give these to somebody else. Yeah. So he gives them to Watts, and he's like, he finally figures out that she's in love with him and like that he's in love with her, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, and she's like, well, you're stupid. I always knew you were stupid. That like made me laugh so hard the first time I saw that. Like she said it like jokingly, but also like not joking.
Bigfoot Worship says, great show. Please be careful traveling to and from on the road. It's gonna be all right. We're not going far.
Yeah, it's not far. I mean, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. I hope. John Gora says, my problem with Long Duck Dong is that it's a faux Chinese name. Yeah. And the guy seems more Japanese from all the signs. Yeah. And I think that actor... Where is that actor from? Like, I've seen him in a bunch of other things.
Nothing was supposed to be realistic back then. Everything was all just a gag.
Yeah.
It was all supposed to be funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, the fact that he was just... And then he ends up with that like huge like tall woman with those big massive boobs that's all like kind of manly and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of shit that fucking shouldn't have happened but did happen. Like we were watching we're gonna do a review on it again, but the first Karate Kid.
Yeah, I just mentioned that, yeah.
And the director comes right out and said, me and Jenny are going like, those two right there, how could he get that girl? You know.
I was always weirded out by that. Like, even back in the 80s, I'm like, dude, she looks like
a fucking child, and she looks like a porn star.
I mean, she looks like she's in her 20s, and he looks like he's about 14.
Yeah.
It's like, super weird.
Well, the director comes in, and he goes, well, we wanted this shit to be like, you have this like a dorky dude who's just an annoying nerd that's likable, who ends up with this chick that he just couldn't get. And he put him next to, the director said he put him side by side, it's just like, he has no business being with that girl. Okay, it's strawberry shortcake and a little skinny cannoli, and that's exactly what it was. When we were kids, we were like, "No, that can't," like what? And yeah, that girl for the era, even today, you look at him, it's just like a super mixed mismatch. He's a skinny little kid that looks like he's 13 years old. She looks like a 20-something fucking porn star of the era.
I mean, I think they were pretty similarly aged.
They were the same age, I think.
I mean, I don't think there was a huge difference in their ages, but it looks like there's a big difference in their ages. Because Ralph Macchio looks way younger than
he looked like a little skinny fucking little kid, which is kind of...
Well, that's what they wanted. I mean, he even said, like, on the materials, he said, we wanted somebody that looked like a wimp.
Right. A wimp with a chip on his shoulder.
That's what he said, yeah.
And the girl, I don't know what her name is.
Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, Elizabeth was a short, voluptuous girl. Big boobs, pretty face. She was, if she was in porn, and of course, for you young kids, there was porn in those eras, she'd have been a Christy Canyon type, a superstar. And she didn't look like a fucking high school girl at all. If you were to say she's 27, you'd go, oh, okay. You would accept that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that, like, if you told me she was in her mid-20s, I'd have been like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean...
I think she was actually 19. Or 18.
Yeah, it seemed like she was right around that age.
But
so was he, like I said.
And then they showed that girl next to the villain who ends up in fucking Cobra Kai. He's the guy who runs Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, okay, they could get together, but not fucking Ralph Macchio. He's a fucking tall, fucking buffed out dude. They looked about the same. They looked like they could be a couple. You put Ralph Macchio next to her, like, no, they didn't look like a couple.
Well, her head was a lot bigger than his head.
Everything about her.
I think that was what bothered me. I mean, it bothered me. The age difference. Like I said, I know it wasn't a realistic age difference, but like they looked so much different.
Right.
I was like, look at them together. Like she's taller than him. Like she's like her head is bigger.
I don't think she was taller than him. I think they were the same size.
Maybe.
It's just she just
seemed bigger and older.
Yeah, she seemed bigger and older and prettier.
Her head was bigger.
And fucking more ready to go. He looked like a child next to her.
He did, yeah. He did. So I think even back in the 80s, that always kind of like weirded me out. Yeah. A little bit.
I kind of only halfway accepted it because there was that dynamic happening in high school. A lot of guys, like Mike Kowalski, fucking Gramthars knows who he is. Mike Kowalski was just like Ralph Macchio, that same build. That same dynamic right there. He looked like a child next to fucking most high school girls. It's not how he looks now, but that's how he looked back then.
Well, in general, girls tend to mature much faster. Yeah. So I've seen that. I mean, we've all seen that happen in junior high and high school where, like, the girls will look a lot older. Like, the boys still look like children. Yeah. And the girls look like almost like adult women. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole... And you do see them dating occasionally, but it is, like, kind of weird.
My buddy Mike looked like Anthony Michael Hall out of fucking
when he was in Breakfast Club or Weird Science.
Breakfast Club, like that. Worse. He looked worse. Fucking, he looked even more gawky. All right, but he now looks like Anthony Michael Hall from fucking Dead Zone
or from Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
he's like a big burly dude.
Yeah. No comparison.
That's like funny what happened to that dude.
No comparison. Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought of Breakfast Club. You know your problem? You're a neo-maxi Zune dweeby.
Yeah.
What would you be doing if you were not making yourself a better person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that movie a whole bunch of times. But that's just really funny how he was like so typecast when he was younger as like this gawky dork. And then like now you wouldn't even recognize. I remember when Edward Scissorhands came out, which was the first time that I'd seen him since I'd seen him in the John Hughes movies, and I was just like, holy shit, I can't even believe that's the same fucking dude. That he's just like, he looks completely fucking different. I was like, wow, he filled out, didn't he? But, you know, I still love, like, I still love his character in, like, fucking Weird Science and Breakfast Club, though. Although he did take Molly Ringwald's underwear. Well, she gave him her underwear.
Weird Science?
No, wait.
In Weird Science.
That wasn't Weird Science. That was
it was in Breakfast Club, right?
No, that was that Pretty in Pink? Because John Cusack was in that shit too. No, that was 16 Candles. It was 16 Candles. That's right. 16 Candles. That was the one. Yeah, because he was in that. He was just like the nerd that was like in love with her, and John Cusack was one of his dorky friends, which is hilarious.
We'll see you around, John. He's got to go to sleep. Getting late there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, here it's only 8.
Yeah, it's 8. We're getting ready to go in a bit. Because I got to make food for us, too.
That's right. Yeah, because we got to leave about 9-ish. Yeah. About 9-ish.
All right. So if y'all want to buy Jenny a drink, now's the time, because we're going to be leaving in a while. Hugo says 3 O'Clock High is another high school movie that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time though.
Yeah. Fucking Dean Michael says I want Jenny to get that Tara Santana look back. In other words, you want them boobs out, right? I fucking told her, I said, Jenny, you need to unleash those damn monsters on these fucking women, on these people. You get this.
It's like Knives Out, but it's boobs out.
Boom! Yeah. Fucking. Channel got a lot more traffic when Jenny was fucking attacking y'all with boobs. Yeah, get a lot of traffic, get a lot of super chats. Sex sells. It's just the way it is.
I mean, you know. What about your boobs?
I got boobs.
Let's see your boobs. Actually, no, don't, because, yeah, he'll show. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any shame.
No, of course not.
He doesn't have any shame.
No, not at all. Oh, they're going faster, pussy bat killer. They're all laughing now. Yeah.
We should probably review that one of these days.
You know what? We ought to do some Michael Myers flicks. Not Michael Myers. What's his name? Fucking Russ Myers flicks.
Russ Meyer.
Russ Myers was the original boobologist, master of boobology. He would study a boob.
It's Tom's mentor.
Is my mentor. He would study a boob and put that on the fucking silver screen for y'all to see. Okay. No, boobs are great, and it was he was forming monuments to boobs in fucking in cinematic fucking style. You know what I mean? Put some boobs on the screen.
I just thought how funny it would be if somebody made like a Mount Rushmore monument, except it was 4 sets of boobs.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. From Russ Myers
Mount
girls.
Boobmore.
Mount Boobmore. From Russ Myers fucking girls. Everyone. Here's the thing.
Somebody could buy a mountain and do that, right?
Yeah. Some people might say, well, that's some sexist shit and fucking that's lowbrow. No, it was a celebration of female power. All the Russ Myers movies were about female power. Powerful female gangsters beating up dudes and beating up other girls and boobs flying everywhere. It was just, that was his thing. You know what I mean? And it was hyper femininity. That's what he was into. Powerful women with big boobs.
Who could kick your ass.
And they could kick your ass. And they had guns. And they were gangsters. And it was kind of like a BDSM fantasy. You know, it's fetish. Fetish.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely fetish.
Yeah. I mean, I read his biography, and it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
It's in here someplace.
He kind of coined the procedure of taking hot strippers that were fucking physically talented and making them into movie stars. You know, Tara Satana was a Japanese stripper. Japanese-American stripper from L.A. Had big fucking boobs. She was cute. And he turned her into a movie star.
Didn't we just see a movie that on Riff Tracks the other day that she was in? The movie was was awful, but
terrible movies. Terrible.
But I mean, she was good in it though.
But yeah,
I can't remember what the name of it was.
Yeah.
It was one that I just
about
watched
gangsters and fucking ninjas and shit.
Yeah,
back in the 50s or 60s.
I can't even remember what it was about. I just I watched it. It was like it was a Riff Tracks one. It was on Tubi, I think.
Yeah.
But I watched it because she was in it.
She's actually the best part of that movie.
Well, yeah, she's the only good part of that movie.
The rest of people couldn't act.
I mean, that's why you got to watch it on Riff Tracks. You can't watch it without the commentary.
And don't, when you're talking about B movies and sexploitation type flicks, the women carried those movies, and a lot of times they were the best actors in the movies. And Tara could act. She could. Well, she could act in comparison to the motherfuckers they had.
Yeah, it's all relative.
It's relative. But she could put on a good show. They were movies of their time. You had to put it in that context.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
Oh, John Gore says Astro Zombies. Yeah, that's what. It was Astro Zombies. That's right. John Carradine.
Astro Zombies.
John Carradine was in it.
Yeah.
John Carradine would be in fucking anything.
Yeah, it was.
John Carradine. In fact, John Carradine was old.
Yeah.
When he was born, he was born an old man.
Yeah, he was.
Because seriously, he was in some fucking Coleman Francis movies from back in the fucking 1950s, and the bitch looked like an old man back then.
Yeah. Astro Zombies was fucking mentioned several times, I believe, by fucking the legendary Glenn Danzig.
Well, yeah, there's a Misfits song
and
called
Misfits
Astro
songs
Zombies.
Sam Hain and so
The movie is not really all that great though. But I watched the Riff Tracks version and I was like, the thing about Astro Zombies the movie, the title sounds amazing and I like that she's in it and John Carradine is in it, but it's boring as shit. Yeah. Like really not a lot happens.
By today's standards.
Not a lot happens.
Yeah. If you were a kid though, a teenage guy back in the 60s, you would have thought that was great. You just weren't exposed to everything that you're exposed to now. They didn't have the choices. You'd have thought, oh yeah, that's great. And then
people are a lot more discerning now.
Yeah, they're more discerning now. And then you would have gone home and fucking thought about that fucking hot ass mixed half Japanese chick with those big old boobs. Fucking, you're like,
that would have been the only takeaway.
Exactly.
And that would have been the only good thing. So you're like, yeah, that movie was awesome.
That movie was awesome, man. Did you see that girl? Yeah.
Even though it's like 90 minutes of like nothing happening.
Yeah. But
and every now and then, like, he gets ooh sexy, and then like that's all.
It was just beat off material for fucking guys, fucking young guys back in the '60s. Going, I wish I had a mixed Japanese girl with boobs that big.
The rest of it, they just just tone it out.
Yeah, like a big old vampire coming at me with those fucking. Because she had her eye makeup done and everything, you know. So it's mostly just kind of cultural takeaway of the fucking look, really. You know, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's something that could happen, you know.
I can see if you saw that in your formative years, that would probably be. But like watching it now,
it too, though.
Like watching it now,
I mean, you'd be like, big deal.
Yeah. Well, and plus, like I said, really nothing happens. It's like super boring.
Yeah.
But it was fun on Riff Tracks.
You're looking at it from the point of view of a person of fucking, you know, the 2020s. You know what I mean? Fucking, a lot of shit has happened since then.
We've seen it all.
If you were a teenager back in the 60s and you saw that shit, you thought you'd saw a fucking badass flick. Because you saw something that you normally wouldn't see.
That's true.
Which is a half Japanese girl with fucking huge boobs. It was fucking cool. And you were like, oh, yeah. That's really what it was. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It was just a phenomenon of
it was
time.
Easy to entertain.
It was easier to entertain.
I mean, it must have been, because I've seen like a lot of really low budget movies from the 50s and 60s, and a lot of those are like, whoo, a lot of those are like, real snooze.
That mix, that combination of things would not have occurred to a young guy of the 60s, of the early 60s. It just wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. That wasn't the world that he lived in. They took him to another world. Yeah. But you know, it's just. We're jaded, you know. I mean, we grew up seeing The Thing and fucking Gremlins and fucking porn and fucking, you know what I mean? It had a lot to do with it, and fucking Flash Gordon. And, you know, it was just, we were exposed to a lot more than what those people were exposed to back then. But I can go back to look at what they're seeing and try to put myself in their shoes, you know, historically.
Well, I try to. Whenever I watch something from that era, because I like bad movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need like Riff Tracks or MST or something to like kind of like be a middleman, so I don't have to like sit through it. But I try to put myself in the mindset
of those people,
the people that would have been seeing this.
You're right.
Because nowadays, something like, you know, Herschel Gordon Lewis's stuff, like Blood Feast, would not be shocking to anybody. But if you go back in time to when that was made, that was like a big fucking deal. Nobody had made a gore film before. So
back in the days of Astro Zombies, it would have been 16, 17-year-old guys going, "Did you see Astro Zombies?" Like, "Oh yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one." That would have been some underground shit. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh yeah, I saw that one." Did you see her boobs? Yeah.
Can we rate the boobs? What was the angle of the boobs?
Yeah, did you see those boobs? Yeah. Did you consider them? I said, yeah, I did consider them.
Did you consider
I considered them for a while. You know, it would be that kind of shit.
Did you consider the boobs?
Yeah. That's all it was. But I can put myself back in those days. They just didn't. They weren't exposed to variety. You know. So I can see why. I can see why Glenn Danzig mentioned it, you know?
Yeah, it was probably like a bigger deal back in the day.
It was a bigger deal
like
back
I
then.
said.
Right.
But like I said, watching it now, I'm just kind of like...
You're like, oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Camp Guy says, I can't even remember a time before the internet, and I'm 60 plus years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming up on 50. I'll be 50 in September. I do kind of remember a time before the internet, but it's all, I don't know. It all just kind of like blends together. I do remember. But there was a lot of cool shit about the 70s and the 80s, not gonna lie. But if somebody came to me and said, hey, want to go back there? No. Much easier. Shit's much easier nowadays. The there was a lot of cool shit back then. There was a lot of real shitty shit back then too. So I really would not want to go back. I mean, I can't imagine what I would do without the fucking internet nowadays. But I do remember what it was like without it, but I wouldn't want to go back to it. Wouldn't want to go back to it. Hughes said the Ducky actor did another movie called Hiding Out in Junior High or something. Oh, yeah. His name's John Cryer, actually. And I kind of remember that movie. I think I saw that. He wasn't in a fuck ton of stuff, was he? I kind of feel like, you know what was funny, and I don't know why I thought about this the other day, but at the very end of Pretty in Pink, when Molly Ringwald's character is kind of like, no, I'm going with the rich douche, and Ducky's like okay with it, like, I love you enough to like let you go. There's that whole thing. And then he gets like a consolation prize in the sense of like this other cute girl that's like, hey, come here, you weird person. And that was Christy Swanson from the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. She was also in Deadly Friend, if you remember that one. BB. Wasn't she like a fucking... Well, okay. It's been a while since I've seen Deadly Friend. But I think that the whole premise of that movie was that she was like this girl and she got killed, and then her neighbor who was in love with her built a robot or cyborg that looked just like her, but she was like super violent and killed an old lady by throwing a basketball at her head, right?
Yeah.
And like blew her head up.
Yeah, John, it's called Astro Zombies. That's right. Astro Zombies.
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah.
We've covered that.
Okay.
John Gore said Howard Hughes kind of did some boob exploitation with Jane Russell in the Outlaw. I kind of feel like Jane Russell, she was so known for boobage that she didn't she do like bra commercials later on? I kind of feel like in the 70s she did bra commercials.
Yeah, she wasn't that big though.
I know, but she got
for the time.
For the time she was big.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, and she was not shy about showing, like, not whole boobs, but like cleavage, décolletage. So when they did, was it Playtex or whoever was like making bras in like the 70s?
Yeah.
I remember her being like in commercials when I was a kid, like seeing her in commercials. Yeah. I didn't realize when I saw her when I was a kid, I didn't realize that she'd been in movies prior to that. But then I found out that later, that she was like known for.
Yeah, for you boobologists out there, Tara Satana was a lot bigger.
Boobologists.
Yeah, she's a lot bigger. Okay, so we're at 8:32, and it's about time for us to start to get ready. We got to get out of there. I'll make us something to eat, and we'll leave.
Okay, yeah, because all we got to do is like eat some food and put shoes on. I can't believe. Look what she did.
I know, she tore that shit up.
Oh my god, she tore up my.
Okay, go ahead and shut it down, and I'm gonna start fucking getting stuff ready. You wanna like an egg sandwich or egg burrito? Which one you want?
Burrito, I guess.
Okay.
All right. So
you guys have a good one.
We will see you guys. Have a good weekend, you guys. We will see you guys on Sunday. Probably talk about the first Karate Kid because we just watched it the other day. So we wanted to kind of like discuss that because Louis sent it to us. So hopefully, like I said, you guys have a good weekend. We're gonna go out in a little while. So if you're going out this weekend, please be safe and have a good time. And we will see you guys again on Sunday evening.